Welcome to my channel. Comprehensive Anime. Living in Fairy Tale with Heaven Defying Comprehension. Chapter 41. An afternoon passed quietly. Urza cooked dinner for Lu Li like a little wife. After eating and drinking, Lu Li faced another embarrassing problem. Sleeping. When he built this house, he had just started working and didn't have much money. He only bought a bed just for the convenience of his practice. So he planned to spend the night in the living room. Before he could say this, he saw Urza, who had taken a shower and changed into pajamas, lying on her bed and patted her side and said, "What are you doing? Come to sleep, you still have to practice tomorrow." He didn't expect Urza to not care about the difference between men and women at all. Maybe she didn't know anything about it now. But Urza didn't care, so why should he, a man, be so shy, and he had long determined that Urza was his woman. Lu Li lay beside Urza. It seemed that because of the excessive fatigue of practicing during the day, Urza fell asleep quickly, and Lu Li also began to meditate using meditation. Now his magic power is full, and the magic power absorbed by meditation is not much, but it is more about subtly broadening the capacity of his magic source. Late at night, Lu Li heard something. When she opened her eyes, she saw Urza sweating profusely, with a very frightened expression on her face, obviously having a nightmare. Urza. Urza. Lu Li pushed Urza. Urza suddenly opened her eyes, still a little frightened, and after seeing that this was not a slave prison, she suddenly realized where she was. "No. Sorry, I just." Lu Li reached out and hugged Urza tightly and whispered, "Don't be afraid, I'm here." Hearing Lu Li's words, Urza's tense nerves also relaxed. Lu Li's embrace was warm and safe. The painful memories of her childhood always tortured her. If she didn't wear armor on weekdays, she would not feel safe at all. Unknowingly, Urza fell asleep in Lu Li's arms. Lu Li's eyes changed. Of course, he knew why Urza had nightmares. Urza was abandoned by her mother Irene since she was born. When she was young, she was captured by the dark magic cult and used as a slave to build the R system. Later, she was betrayed by Jello, whom she trusted the most. One blow after another came one after another, all falling on this poor girl. Even so, Urza was not defeated and still worked hard to live. How could such a girl not be pitied? Jello, although he was also a pitiful guy who was deceived by someone, many things could not be forgiven by saying, "I was deceived." The original author likes to whitewash people, but he doesn't like it. Some things are done and they should pay the price for it. The next morning, Urza slowly opened her eyes. She didn't know how long she hadn't slept so peacefully. She saw Lu Li's face close at hand. She saw herself lying on Lu Li's arms, her whole body was hugged by Lu Li, and she could feel Lu Li's breath. Urza's face immediately turned red. She was about to turn 14, and now was the time when she first began to fall in love. Although she was carefree, she was not completely ignorant. It was obviously wrong for a boy and a girl to hug each other so closely. But she really liked the feeling of being protected. Lu Li moved, and Urza was frightened and quickly closed her eyes. Lu Li opened her eyes and saw Urza pretending to sleep. She couldn't help but feel very funny. Where was the girl who invited her to bed last night? Since you are pretending to sleep, don't blame me. Lu Li's lips touched Urza's lips lightly, and Urza froze and stopped breathing. She was actually kissed by the other party. Fortunately, Lu Li only touched lightly and stopped, gently put Urza's head on the pillow, and then opened the bedroom door and walked out. Urza didn't dare to open her eyes until Lu Li walked out. She gasped for air, her face flushed, her heart pounding like a deer. This was her first kiss. After a while, Urza calmed down, changed into her usual clothes, opened the bedroom door and walked out. As soon as she came out, Urza smelled the fragrance of food. It smells so good. This fragrance even made her forget the embarrassment just now. Awake? Lu Li asked Urza knowingly. Urza recalled what happened before and nodded with a blush. Lu Li called Urza and said, "The food is ready, come and eat." Urza sat down on the chair, picked up the chopsticks and tasted the food made by Lu Li. His eyes lit up immediately. "It's so delicious. Lu Li, is your cooking so delicious?" "It's okay, I can only say that I can cook a little, not proficient." As Huxia men, almost all of them have been taught how to cook since childhood, and Lu Li is no exception. However, the main reason why Lu Li cooks for himself is that he can't afford takeout, so he can only cook at home and save some money to pay rent. This is not proficient. Your cooking skills are better than many restaurants. I can't believe that you have a very high talent for magic and cooking talent. Ah, there seems to be no comparison between the two. Delicious. Really delicious. Urza seemed to have eaten such delicious food for the first time, and he just ate it up. After eating and drinking, the two began another day of practice. Urza's crazy appearance when practicing scared Lu Li, as if it was not him who participated in the S-level assessment, but her. In the evening, Urza fell asleep, and the next morning she didn't know why she ran into Lu Li's arms. Lu Li would give Urza a kiss every morning, which made Urza shy and expectant. She would only dare to open her eyes after Lu Li got up. Before she knew it, a week had passed, and the day of the S-Class Wizard promotion test had officially arrived. Fairy Tale Guild. Second floor. Except for those who need to go to the infirmary due to injuries, the second floor of the Fairy Tale Guild does not allow guild wizards to enter on weekdays. Except for S-Class wizards. Because the commissions on the commission board in the room on the second floor are all S-Class and above. It is a life-threatening task. Ordinary wizards are in danger of their lives to do S-Class tasks. At this moment, Lu Li and others are standing in front of these S-Class task commission boards. Makarov said, "The content of your promotion assessment this time is very simple, that is, to choose an S-Class task and complete it. Those who can complete the S-Class task can be promoted to S-Class wizards." Laxus' eyes lit up when he heard this. S-Class tasks, interesting. S-Class tasks are tasks that all wizards in the guild want to challenge, but because of their danger, the guild only allows S-Class wizards to accept them. And not all S-Class tasks can be accepted by S-Class wizards. The president will decide whether to accept it based on the riskiness of the task. It was unexpected that Laxus could do it during the S-level assessment. Lu Li did not expect that the test would be this. President, if you complete the task reward. Lu Li rubbed his fingers. Guildarts laughed and said, "You are thinking about this, brat. Don't worry, the guild will not be greedy for your little money. This is both an assessment and a real S-level task simulation. If you complete the task reward will naturally belong to you." Lu Li stuck out his tongue and said, "I'm just asking, nothing else." Makarov continued, "Okay, you guys come to choose the task." The four people went forward to check together. There are a total of 4 S-level tasks on the commission board, and they are all subjugation tasks. Task name: Subjugating the Deep Sea Monster. Task difficulty: S. Task description: A huge sea monster has recently appeared in the waterway of the Bay of Bengal. The sea monster attacks all passing ships, causing heavy casualties and losses. Wizards are needed to kill the sea monster. Task reward: 10 million J. This mission is not bad. The mission is concise and clear. The reward is also very high. 10 million J is equivalent to RMB 600,000, enough for a long time. Lu Li reached out to take the mission commission. Suddenly, a hand quickly appeared and took the mission commission first. Lu Li looked at the other party and saw Laxus's mouth curled up, looking at Lu Li with a smug look. According to the rules of the guild, whoever grabs it first gets it. Who made you short-handed and slow to act? Lu Li raised his eyebrows. Although he had watched the anime and knew that Laxus was not a bad person and cared about everyone in the guild, this bad behavior was really annoying. He suddenly had the urge to beat this guy up. At this moment, Lu Li felt a surge of anger. Turning his head, he saw Urza staring at a mission commission, and his body couldn't help shaking. Lu Li looked at the commission. Mission name: Defeat Avatar. Mission difficulty: S. Mission description: A group of avatars appeared in the kingdom of Avalor. This group of avatars attacked many villages and towns in the kingdom of Avalor and abducted many villagers. Magicians are needed to eliminate the avatars and save the villagers. Mission reward: 15 million J. Seeing this mission, Lu Li knew why Urza was angry. Urza was also abducted by avatars when she was young and became a slave. Now seeing such a thing happen again, how could she not be angry? President, does the Magic Council not care about this kind of thing? Lu Li asked Makarov with some doubts. The strength of the Magic Council in the fairy tale animation is not very good, but it still has a considerable deterrent power in the Ishgar continent. Especially the ultimate weapon of the Magic Council, the Magic Spirit Power, which is said to be able to hit any place in the Ishgar continent, and its power can even destroy a country. Makarov shook his head. The Magic Council only governs the countries on the Ishgar continent that have joined the Magic Council. The Magic Council will not care about those countries that have not joined, and Avalon is one of the countries that have not joined the Magic Council. Why didn't you join? Gildarts said. Because they have to pay high protection fees. The Magic Council itself is not free. All protected countries have paid high protection fees, but for some countries that are not rich themselves, they cannot afford such high fees. For such countries, even if there is a war between wizards, the Magic Council will naturally not care. There are many such countries on the Ishgar continent, so when such things happen, these countries are more likely to seek help from the Wizard Guild, which costs less. Gildarts likes to travel around on weekdays and has been to various countries. Not all kingdoms are as rich as the Kingdom of Fury. It is normal for some kingdoms that cannot pay protection fees to be divided up by many countries. When he encountered such things during his travels, he would help them if he could. Hearing this, Lu Li understood. Isn't this the fairy tale version of heavenly gold? In the One Piece world, many countries cannot afford to pay heavenly gold, so they will be robbed by pirates. The Navy will not care at all, and even deliberately indulge. It seems that no matter which world it is the same. Of course, Lu Li is not a saint, and it is normal to understand such things. You don't pay and still want others to protect you. Where in the world is there such a good thing? Lu Li reached out and took off the task commission. I accept this task. Lu Li. Don't you want to consider it? Makarov asked Lu Li. This mission is the most dangerous one among the 4S level missions. It can make a country helpless and can only seek help from the Wizard Guild. It can be seen how terrifying the power of this avatar is. The mission level issued by the other party is S level, but the degree of danger is almost close to SS level. Even if it is a real S-level wizard, he does not recommend doing it. Putting this mission here is actually to test the vision of those who participate in the assessment. Lu Li shook her head. No, this is it. Makarov. Well, since you have accepted the task, let's go. The time limit for this work is 1 month. If it is not completed within 1 month, it will be regarded as a failure in the assessment. 1 month, it doesn't take that long at all. I can complete this task in a week. Laxus said confidently, then glanced at Lu Li and raised his mouth. But some guys who overestimate their own abilities may not be the case. Whether I overestimate my own abilities or not, you don't need to worry about it. Just take care of yourself. Even though it was in front of Makarov, Lu Li did not indulge Laxus at all. We are guildmates, so I should be worried about you, right? If that's the case, I think I should be more worried about you. Laxus narrowed his eyes and gritted his teeth and said, Kid, just be thankful that this S-level assessment is not a confrontation, otherwise I will definitely let you experience my strength. Yes. I am very thankful. If I accidentally hurt you, I really can't explain to the president. Laxus really wanted to teach Lu Li a lesson now, but his grandfather and Gildarts were there at this time. HMPH. Then I'll see if you can complete the task, let's go. Laxus left with Freed. Lu Li stuck out her tongue at Laxus's back. Let's go too. Then he prepared to leave with Urza. Gildarts laughed cheerfully. Haha, the young people in the guild are so energetic now. Makarov sighed helplessly. Laxus's temperament is getting more and more extreme now, and he is getting more and more different from when he was a child. I am really worried that he will do something one day. Gildarts comforted Makarov and said, Don't worry, President, I watched Laxus grow up. He is the child of fairy tale. Although he is a little rebellious now, a person's nature is not so easy to change. He will figure it out in the future. I hope so. Soon, Lu Li and Urza got on the train, and the train started slowly. Urza asked, Lu Li, why did you choose that task? Nothing. Because the reward for that task is very high. We are now conducting the S-level promotion assessment, so naturally we have to choose the tasks with lower difficulty to have a higher chance of completion. Aren't they all S-level tasks? The difficulty is about the same. I think this task is not difficult, it is quite suitable for me. Lu Li looked indifferent. But Urza is not a fool, knowing that Lu Li must have chosen this task for her own reasons. Urza's expression changed, and it was obvious that she was struggling fiercely in her heart, as if she was hesitating whether to confess everything to Lu Li. Okay. I've already accepted the mission, and it's too late to regret it now. I might as well think about how to complete the mission. I don't want to see Laxus's stinky face every day after I go back. Urza couldn't help but burst out laughing when she heard Lu Li say this. Indeed, with Laxus's personality, if the mission was not completed, he would definitely ridicule her every day. Urza swore in her heart, "Don't worry, I will definitely help you become an S-class wizard." After 3 days of travel, Lu Li and Urza finally arrived at the kingdom of Avalor. Are you the wizards sent by Fairy Tale to complete the mission? In the palace, the king of Avalor and the ministers looked at Lu Li and Urza with suspicion. Yes. Lu Li and Urza have long been accustomed to this. Every time they go on a mission, the employer will see through them because of their age. A minister said angrily, "We issued an S-level mission, but Fairy Tale only sent you 2 kids. Are you looking down on our kingdom of Avalor?" Lu Li waved her hand calmly and said, "Don't be so excited. We are here to complete the mission. If we complete it, you will pay us. If we don't complete the mission, you don't have to pay us. The result is that whether we succeed or fail, there is no loss for you, right? And, do you think we want the mission to fail? You know, you only paid money, but we paid with our lives." Everyone seemed to think this was true. Okay, without further ado, tell me what you know now. The middle-aged man in armor in charge of the army stood up and said, "I don't know much about them either. I only know that they are avatars who believe in Zirf. They appeared in our country last month and attacked the town as soon as they appeared. They kidnapped everyone, regardless of gender, age or status. I don't know what they are going to do. They have attacked 3 towns in a row in the past month, and more than 10,000 people have been abducted by them." Urza couldn't help but say, "Didn't you send troops to rescue them?" A man in his 50s wearing a magic robe said, "Of course we didn't. We sent out the most elite magic troops in the kingdom, but the opponent was too strong. All the magic troops we sent out were wiped out by the opponent. We were desperate, so we chose to issue a mission to the Wizard Guild. In fact, it is rare for the Wizard Guild to issue a mission in the name of the kingdom. Every kingdom has its own army. Issuing a commission to the Wizard Guild is already a big loss of face. But most of the elite magic troops were wiped out, which really scared them. If the other party came to the palace, it would be bad. So they asked for help from the Wizard Guild in a hurry, but they saw that the reinforcements were actually 2 children, Lu Li and Urza, so they were so anxious. At this time, Your Majesty the King. No. It's not good." A soldier ran in hurriedly with a panicked face. The king and many ministers couldn't help but tremble when they heard this. They have heard such voices several times in these days. What happened again? The town of Baron was breached by Avatar, and all the people in the town were kidnapped by Avatar. Hearing this, everyone in the hall changed their faces. What on earth does this Avatar want to do by arresting so many people? The king was even more panicked, and shouted in a trembling voice, "Ask for help. Ask for help from the Magic Council immediately. Tell them that our kingdom is willing to pay for protection." Lu Li said lightly, "Why are you panicking? Even if you ask for help now, even if the Magic Council will send troops, it will take at least a month. It is better to let us try. As long as we kill them, you will save a lot of money." Lu Li's calm appearance calmed the king and the ministers. The Legion leader frowned and said, "That's the Avatar. Our kingdom's elite wizard army can't defeat them. How can you two be the opponent of the Avatar?" Buzz. Lu Li exuded terrifying magic power. Everyone felt a terrifying pressure emanating from Lu Li, their legs couldn't help but tremble, their bodies collapsed on the ground, and looked at Lu Li with fear on their faces. "We are Fairy Tale's magicians. Don't compare us with the magicians in your army. We are different." After saying this, Lu Li put away his magic power. Now everyone in the hall dared not underestimate Lu Li and Urza anymore. Almost everyone present had magic power and could sense how terrifying Lu Li's magic power was. Lu Li looked at the soldier who reported, "Tell us the location of the attacked town." Yes. The attack town is in the southeast, 200 kilometers away from the capital. 200 kilometers. No wonder the top leaders of this country are all panicking. At this distance, the enemy may come here at any time. It will be easy if we know the enemy's location. Swish. 3 pairs of white wings spread out behind Lu Li, scaring the people around him. Lu Li stretched out his hand to Urza and said, "Let's go." Urza immediately understood what Lu Li meant. Lu Li hugged Urza's waist and flew quickly in the direction known by the soldier. In less than 5 minutes, Lu Li arrived at the attacked town. The town was empty at this time, with ruins everywhere and all homes destroyed. Urza looked very ugly when she saw this scene, and tried to suppress her anger. These fools. Bang! Urza smashed a wall with one punch. The scene in front of her reminded her of her childhood, when she was captured by avatars, people like this, sent to the island as a slave to build the R system. Lu Li took a closer look at the surroundings. There are traces of new destruction here. It is a big project to transfer so many people. I believe they should not have gone far. Urza immediately reacted. Now is not the time to be angry. The first task is to rescue people. Let's chase. There are footprints on the ground, and it is easy to track the whereabouts of the other party. Not long after, Lu Li and Urza came to the front of a city. Lu Li and Urza quietly came to the top of the city wall. The two looked down and saw a large number of people gathered in the center of the city. Almost everyone was terrified, and some people cried bitterly. There were Avatar members wearing black robes all around, and there were a lot of them. Looking around, it was estimated that there were at least 500 people. So many people. What did these guys want to do by arresting these people? Urza clenched her fists when she saw this scene. At first, she thought that these avatars were the same as the original avatars, capturing people as slaves to build the R system, but now it doesn't seem to be the case. At this time, a man with a steel mask on his face appeared on the high platform. Everyone. From now on, we will start the purification ceremony. These people are innocent. 30,000 lives know nothing about their upcoming fate. These holy lives will create the key to awaken that great being and allow him to revive on this land. In order to walk with him in this world, we must offer these 30,000 pure souls as sacrifices. Everything is for the great black magician Zirf. For Zirf. For Zirf. The many people from the black magic church below all shouted excitedly. Urza also understood the meaning of what the other party said at this time. Her face turned pale, her eyes widened with disbelief, and her body trembled. These guys actually want a blood sacrifice. Lu Li also saw what the other party wanted to do, and her face changed. The massacre of 30,000 innocent people, this heinous crime was about to happen under his nose. He knew that every world had a dark side. Even in the self-proclaimed era in his previous life, genocide happened from time to time. But he never thought that he would see such a horrible thing with his own eyes one day. The purification ceremony begins now. The masked man on the high platform announced loudly. Oh 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 oh. All the Avatar believers raised their weapons excitedly and prepared to start the massacre. And the ordinary people who were surrounded were all terrified, and many children cried loudly. Stop it. Urza saw that the bloody massacre was about to happen in front of her, and she couldn't help but speak out to stop it. Urza's voice exposed 2 people. Kill them. The masked man gave the order, and seemed to have no interest in knowing the identities of Lu Li and Urza. Many people from the Black Magic Church raised their wands and fired magic bullets at Lu Li and Urza. Boom 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 boom. The magic bullets bombarded the location where Lu Li and Urza were. Explosions continued. HMPH. Just 2 little brats, dare to meddle in our avatar's affairs, they are simply looking for death. Heavenly wheel dazzling sword. At this time, Urza's voice sounded in the smoke of the explosion. Swish swish swish. A large number of steel swords shot out from the smoke and stabbed at the avatar people. Puff puff. Wah. Facing the avatar, Urza had no intention of showing mercy. These guys were even more fool-it than those who enslaved him to build the R system. Although it was very painful at that time, she could at least be alive at that time. And these guys were planning to kill a full 30,000 people to shed blood. This crime was simply a death sentence. Urza rushed towards the avatars and continued to attack the cult. The members of the cult were killed one by one. The masked man said calmly. Don't worry about her, continue the purification ritual. Yes. Except for the dozen people who dealt with Urza, everyone else raised their wands, and magic bullets condensed on the wands. Stop it. Urza shouted loudly after seeing it. There were too many enemies, and it was very difficult for her to deal with them. What was more troublesome was that there were too many hostages. There were more than 30,000 people, and she couldn't protect them at all. Avatar naturally wouldn't listen to Urza, and fired magic bullets at the innocent people in the middle. Boom 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 boom. Hundreds of people fired magic at the same time, and the destructive power was very terrifying. This is the Legion effect. Magic bullets were fired one after another at the middle, and carpet bombing was carried out. This feeling made everyone in Avatar extremely excited. Urza's face turned pale at this time, and her body trembled constantly. These guys actually did it. 30,000 people. That's 30,000 innocent lives. These guys are not human at all, they are devils. Great Zirf. I offer you a rich sacrifice, come and receive these pure souls. The masked man opened his arms and shouted to the sky in a fanatical tone. After a while, when the Avatar thought that most of the people were dead, he gradually stopped. Wait, what is that? Before the smoke dispersed, the Avatar saw something white glowing in the smoke. Urza also looked over. Soon the smoke dispersed, and everyone could see the situation inside clearly. A huge hexagonal protective shield appeared, covering all the people inside. All the attacks just now hit the protective shield, and the people inside were not hurt at all. Lu Li. When Urza saw it, her face immediately showed surprise. She was very familiar with this move. When she and Lu Li fought a week ago, Lu Li used it and blocked all her attacks. I didn't expect Lu Li to be able to open this protective shield so large that it even covered 30,000 people. How is it possible? All the avatars were in disbelief when they saw this scene. Well done. Urza saw that Lu Li had protected all the civilians, so she had no worries and immediately started to work. How dare they obstruct our sacred purification ceremony? Kill them. Dedicate their souls to the great black wizard Zirf. The masked man was also angry when he saw this scene, and waved his hand to give orders. All the avatars launched an attack on Urza, and magic bullets were shot at Urza. The number of magic bullets was too dense, so Urza had to dodge. Seeing Urza's exhausted and embarrassed appearance, all the avatars became excited. At this moment, the night sky lit up, and then everyone felt a burning breath. Everyone looked in the direction of the light and immediately saw a scene that made them dumbfounded. What is that? I saw Lu Li standing on the top of the spherical shield at this moment. He raised his right hand high, and a huge fireball with a diameter of more than 10 meters was suspended above his palm. It looked like a small sun held in Lu Li's hand. Lu Li said coldly. Go to hell. Lu Li threw a huge fireball at the place where the avatars were most concentrated. Ah! A huge fireball fell into the crowd of avatars and exploded, and the violent flames engulfed the avatar members. Wah! Little ghost, has no one taught you that you can't meddle in some things? Sorry, I am born to like to meddle in other people's business, and this is not meddling in other people's business. The reward for killing you is 15 million J. Arrogant. The masked man raised the magic wand in his hand, and the magic wand emitted light, and a magic bullet shot towards Lu Li. Lu Li flicked it casually and hit the magic bullet away. What? It bounced back. Lu Li condensed a golden arc in his hand and swung it at the masked man. A light gun formed by golden lightning shot at the masked man. The masked man waved the magic wand quickly, and a wall of magic rose from the ground. Boom. The magic wall was shattered several times in a row, and then blocked. Little ghost, your attack can't break through my defense. Crack. Boom. A golden lightning rose from the ground under the masked man's feet and hit the masked man. Ah! The clear night sky was suddenly covered with dark clouds. Boom boom. Blue and white lightning shuttled through the dark clouds. As Lu Li pressed his palm downwards slightly. Crack. Then lightning bolts fell from the sky and landed accurately on all the avatars. Boom 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 boom. Ah! Although Lu Li said that this thing was not very good, it was still very useful sometimes, so he also studied it carefully. Urza came to the masked man, pointed the sword in his hand at him and shouted, Tell me. Who sent you here? What do you want to do? Hee hee. What's so funny? You lost. I burned my face for this day. Urza saw the other person's face from the broken mask of the other person, which was full of scars and looked terrible. But this is the price. I happily burned my face. What do you want to say? The masked man lay on the ground, opened his arms and shouted loudly to the sky, "Come on. The fighting god who made a contract with me. Give me the corresponding reward. Use your power for me. Summon, battle bond." At this time, the dark clouds in the sky began to move, forming a huge vortex. A huge black hole appeared in the vortex. Then, a huge foot stepped out of the vortex and landed on the ground. Boom! The earth shattered. Urza grabbed the collar of the masked man and shouted angrily, "Hey! Stop it! Do you want to kill your companions too? This is the real purification ceremony. The souls I want to offer, in addition to these people, are the hearts of faith of Avatar believers. The souls who believe in Zirf are the highest tribute. Only in this way can Zirf be awakened and led us." Urza's face was ugly. "You are crazy. Ha 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 ha. The god of war has come, no one can stop the god of war, he will take away all lives." At this time, a huge guy like a demon came out completely from the black hole in the cloud, and the huge body was almost towering. It's over. We're dead. At this time, many civilians saw the huge body that towered, and they all fell into despair. "Lu Li, run!" Urza shouted at Lu Li. This kind of monster was no longer something humans could deal with. Lu Li covered her forehead with her hand and looked at the huge monster with interest. "Oh, this thing is really big." As Lu Li said this, she stepped on the ground, and 3 pairs of white wings appeared behind her, and she flew to the giant demon that was summoned. The giant demon slowly raised the sword in his hand. "Be careful. He's going to attack," Urza warned loudly. The giant demon quickly swung his arm and chopped down at Lu Li. Boom 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 boom. Ahahaha. Did you see that? This is the god of battle, Battle Bond, one of the 18 fighting gods of the demonic world. Everyone will die. I will sacrifice all my souls to the great Zirf, ahahaha. The masked man shouted excitedly when he saw the power. Bang! Urza was so angry at the other party's arrogance that she took out her sword and slapped him in the face. Urza shouted at Lu Li, "Lu Li. Go. This guy is no longer a monster we can deal with." She had experienced Lu Li's flying speed before. As long as Lu Li wanted to escape, the other party couldn't stop him. Lu Li smiled and said, "I promised you that I would definitely become an S-class wizard. How can I go back on my word? Besides, there are so many people here. If we leave them alone, they will all die. Also, you have to believe me, because I am the strongest." As Lu Li said this, his body began to grow rapidly. In a blink of an eye, a Lu Li as tall as a giant demon appeared on the ground. Dragon god giant spirit god form. What? So big. Everyone was stunned. The boy could actually become as big as the monster. Urza was also shocked. She knew that Lu Li could use the president's magic, but she didn't expect Lu Li to be so big. How much magic power would be consumed for such a huge body? Whatever you do is useless. Dushan Zanjiki is the god of battle, no one can match him, you are just struggling to survive. Dushan Zanjiki obviously noticed this guy who was as big as himself, and slashed at Lu Li with the sword in his hand. "Get out of the way!" Urza shouted at Lu Li. But Lu Li didn't move at all. Clang! Dushan Zanjiki's big sword chopped on Lu Li's shoulder. Boom! The whole earth shook. Everyone screamed. Urza looked at Lu Li's position worriedly. Then a scene that shocked everyone appeared. The imagined appearance of Lu Li's body being split in half did not appear. The big sword that split the mountain before was now on Lu Li's shoulder. And Lu Li stood there, as if there was an extra layer of red and black flames outside his body. Is that all? Lu Li grabbed the great sword of the god of war with his left hand, and his right hand emitted a golden light. Soon, a great sword made of gold appeared in Lu Li's hand. It was the 10th incarnation of Veleslana, a warrior holding a golden sword. Lu Li swung his sword and slashed at the god of war. Swish! The body of the god of war was split in two by Lu Li from the top of his head. The powerful slash cut the dark clouds in the sky in half, and the mountains and the earth were also split. Ka! Everyone opened their mouths and looked at the scene in front of them in disbelief. The demon god who had just appeared on the scene was killed by the young man with one blow. The god of war was impossible. How could this be possible? The masked man stared blankly at the scene in front of him. Urza's expression returned to normal and she smiled. Nothing is impossible, he is Lu Li. Urza remembered that when she was in the fairy tale guild, she saw Lu Li's talent for learning magic with just one look. She knew from that time that Lu Li would definitely become a powerful wizard in the future. But she never thought that the future would come so early. Lu Li also shrank to normal size at this time. Snap. Lu Li snapped her fingers and removed the protective shield. All the enemies were eliminated, and those who were captured were so excited that they cried and ran over to kowtow to Lu Li to thank him. Lu Li looked at Urza and said, "How is it? I said I can become an S-class wizard, right?" Urza smiled and said, "Well, you have fulfilled our agreement excellently." Seeing Urza's smile, Lu Li's heartbeat slightly accelerated, and Urza's occasional expression made him very excited. Urza pointed at the masked man and asked, "How do we deal with this guy?" "Kill him." Lu Li replied without hesitation. For such a guy with no bottom line, it is a waste of air to keep him alive. Although he has received legal education, he has no psychological burden when it comes to killing guys like Avatar. And he knows that Urza hates Avatar to the core, so it is most appropriate for Urza to kill this guy personally. Urza frowned and said, "Forget it, there is only one survivor left. Hand him over to the client. I believe he will definitely get the punishment he deserves." If it was before, she would definitely not let him go, but now, this guy's hair is already gray. It is obvious that he has just used the summoning magic at the cost of a lot of vitality. Even if she doesn't kill him, the other party will definitely not live for a few days. Okay, I'll listen to you. Soon, the army that got the news arrived here and took all the civilians back to resettle. Lu Li and Urza also returned to the capital. Just after everyone left, a short figure appeared in the distance. It was Makarov, the president of the Fairy Tale Guild. Makarov valued the children of the guild very much and treated Lu Li and Urza as his own children. This promotion exam was an S-level task, so he naturally would not leave it alone. Guildarts was going to take care of Laxus and Freed. He chose to follow Lu Li and Urza. This brat. I almost had a heart attack because of the scare. Makarov patted his chest. He wanted to take action several times just now, but this was the most important exam for the children after all. If it was not necessary, he absolutely could not take action, otherwise it would be bad to delay such an important exam. Just now, when those avatars were about to massacre civilians, he was ready to use the fairy law to kill all those guys. But he noticed that Lu Li activated the magic shield at the critical moment, so he stopped. Then, he saw the battle god coming, and his face changed drastically. If he hadn't seen Lu Li's confident look, he would have taken action long ago. Especially when the big sword hit Lu Li, he almost cried out. As a result, the brat was unscathed, and it was obvious that he took it on purpose. But how did this brat practice? Is his strength so strong now? He saw the attack of the battle god with his own eyes, and that powerful strength was not inferior to the 10 great saint wizards. But Lu Li defeated him easily, which means that Lu Li's current strength is comparable to the 10 great saint wizards. The 10 great saint wizards who are only 14 years old are terrifying to think about. This brat is really a monster. Immediately, Makarov laughed again. The more powerful his children are, the happier he is as a father. However, this brat is usually very low-key in the guild. If he had known that this brat had such strength, he would not have come. Seeing that the matter was over, Makarov was also ready to return to the guild. After returning to the palace, Lu Li got the task reward of 15 million J very smoothly. The king of Avalor did not dare to default on the debt. The horrible traces of the battle and the narration of everyone present all showed that the strength of this young man was extremely terrifying. If the other party was a villain, no one would dare to object even if he robbed his country, so how could he dare to default on the debt? After getting the reward, Lu Li and Urza returned together the next morning. The king and the ministers also went out to see him off. The enthusiastic look was completely different from the attitude at the beginning. Avalor Capital Dungeon. Alec was tied up here with chains, and his body was covered with scars. Obviously, the people of the kingdom would not let go of this culprit who almost sacrificed 30,000 people so easily. At this time, footsteps sounded. Then a female voice rang out and said, "Oh my! Priest Alec, how did you become like this?" Alec trembled when he heard the voice, slowly opened his eyes, looked in front of him, and showed a happy expression as if he saw a savior. Saint. Saint. Save me. The person who came was a young and beautiful girl, about 15 years old. Save you? Yes. Of course I am here to save you. The girl smiled brightly and put her palm on the door lock. The door lock immediately began to corrode and age, and the prison door was easily opened. Thank you, Saint. Thank you, Saint. Puff. A dagger stabbed into Alec's back. Alec couldn't believe it. Saint, you. Priest Alec, you didn't complete the task assigned by the higher-ups, do you think you can still get out alive? Besides, you used that magic, and you don't have much time left. In order to prevent you from leaking any information that is unfavorable to the organization, the higher-ups asked me to send you off. This is also saving you, at least you won't die so painfully. Alec struggled, but his vitality had already been lost by half, and he was half dead. Later, he was abused by the jailer, and now he was stabbed in the vitals by the visitor. Now he can't even move his fingers. A few seconds later, Alec died unwillingly with his eyes wide open. Tisk tisk, President Hades really taught this guy an incredible magic, but the side effects are too terrible. Every time he uses it, he will sacrifice himself and consume a lot of vitality. He uses this to summon a powerful fighting god. Those who practice this kind of magic will not live long. Who would have thought that this old man who seems to be in his 60s or 70s is only in his 30s? After saying that, the girl skipped out of the prison with a brisk step. Before leaving, the locks of the prison door were all restored to their original state. If it weren't for the dagger behind Alec, it would seem as if no one had been here at all. Although all the people in Avatar were killed, the 30,000 civilians who were originally sacrificed were still alive. Before she came, she didn't even need to ask, she already knew the whole story. She knew that it was a wizard named Lu Li from the Fairy Tale Guild who killed Alec in Avatar. She also went to the scene to take a look. The traces of destruction were indeed very scary. Lu Li from the Fairy Tale Guild. I didn't expect that the Fairy Tale Guild still had such a monster. It seems that I need to pay more attention to it in the future. On the other side, Laxus and Freed were also in trouble. At first, the two came here by boat. Laxus was full of confidence and felt that he could easily deal with the sea monster. The sea monster really launched an attack, but it was unexpected that the sea monster was very resistant to magic. After being injured, it immediately fled to the sea. Later, even if Laxus recruited many merchant ships as bait, the sea monster did not appear. The mission target has been hiding in the deep sea, which made Laxus's mission progress suddenly stagnant. In this case, it is impossible to give up. He is Laxus, and his proud self-esteem does not allow him to fail in any mission. Moreover, this time is the promotion assessment of S-class wizards, and he cannot fail. This failure was due to his previous carelessness. This time he must be fully prepared. In the next period of time, Laxus and Freed will dive into the sea every day to find the traces of the sea monster. As long as they find the traces of the other party, Freed will set up the spell and will never let the sea monster escape again. Lu Li and Urza had returned to the guild at this time. When Makarov announced that Lu Li and Urza had completed the S-class mission and Lu Li had successfully advanced to the S-class wizard, the guild suddenly became excited. There had been no new S-class wizards born in the Fairy Tale Guild for more than 20 years. This shows how difficult it is to become an S-class wizard. Now that Lu Li has been promoted to a new S-class wizard, they are naturally very excited. A guild with only one S-class wizard is completely different from a guild with two S-class wizards. The S-class wizard is the ace wizard of the guild and represents the facade of the guild. Every S-class wizard is a monster-level strongman. This is a symbol of hard power. This is like the difference between a guild and a game with two super bosses and one boss. The stronger the strength of the guild, the more famous it is, and the more proud it is in such a guild. At the same time, the more famous the guild is, the more resources the guild will obtain, which is related to the interests of each wizard. As the saying goes, people in the same profession are enemies. There are many comparisons between wizard guilds. When going out, who doesn't want to be looked up to by others as soon as they hear that they are from the fairy tale guild? Therefore, everyone wants to work hard to expand the guild. Then, Makarov announced that a banquet would be held to celebrate the birth of a new S-class wizard. Hearing about the banquet, everyone in the guild became even more excited. In a blink of an eye, a month is about to pass, and there is less than a day left before the end of the S-class promotion assessment. Guild members are also discussing. It seems that Laxus failed the promotion mission. Yes, S-class missions are not that easy to do. S-class missions are mission commissions that can only be accepted by S-class wizards in the guild, but it does not mean that S-class wizards will definitely be able to complete them. Even for S-class wizards, most S-class missions are life-threatening missions, and S-class wizards are generally unwilling to accept them. Guildarts was the only one in the guild who could do S-class tasks like playing, but Guildarts was free and easy and liked to wander around. Once he went out to do a task, he didn't know when he would come back. Seeing that the sun was about to set, Makarov took a deep breath of smoke and slowly exhaled. To be honest, he didn't want to give Laxus the qualification to participate in the promotion to S-class wizard this time, because Laxus's character was too rebellious. In the end, it was Guildarts who persuaded him, saying that Laxus would grow up in the future, and blindly suppressing him would cause greater rebellious psychology, so he gave Laxus the qualification to participate. Luli's character and personality were good, his magic power was also very strong, and his talent for learning magic was unmatched. That's why he set such a difficult promotion assessment. The purpose itself was to rub the spirits of the two people, and let the two people understand the truth that there are people beyond people and there are heavens beyond heaven. Unexpectedly, Luli, this little monster, not only completed the commission, but also completed it very beautifully. At that time, he knew how strong Luli was. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he would never have believed that someone could reach this level of strength in just half a year. The sun was about to set, and as long as the sun set, it would mean that the assessment time was officially over. Failed. That's fine. Although Laxus was his grandson, he still hoped that Laxus could grow through this assessment. At the last moment when the sun was about to set, two figures appeared at the door of the Fairy Tale Guild. It's Laxus and Freed. At this time, the two people were covered with scars, but their eyes were full of energy. Everyone in the guild looked at the two people. Laxus raised his fist and shouted excitedly, I completed the S-level mission. I was promoted to an S-level wizard. Oh. Everyone in the guild cheered when they heard this. Although Laxus was a little arrogant in the guild on weekdays, he didn't call Fairy Tale Guild members trash like future. On the contrary, Laxus is the grandson of the President Makarov, and he grew up in Fairy Tale. He is a real red seedling. Many people think that when the future president retires, Laxus will definitely inherit the position of the president. On the other hand, Laxus also succeeded. Fairy Tale Guild gave birth to two S-class wizards at once. They are not ordinary assessments, but wizards who have truly completed the S-class mission assessment. Such results are not fake at all. There are two more wizards in the guild at once, which is extremely exciting news. Great, Laxus. Congratulations on becoming Fairy Tale's S-class wizard. Yes. That's great. I believe that Laxus, you can definitely complete the S-class mission. Successfully promoted. Biscolo and Evergreen ran over excitedly. As the end of the assessment approached, the two became more and more worried. They had not done any missions for a month. Now seeing Laxus return from the mission safely, they finally let go of their worries. Laxus glanced around and did not find Luli and Urza. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly, revealing a smile. This time he knew why his grandfather had never allowed him to do S-class missions. He did not expect that a mission with a reward of 10 million J would be so difficult. He and Freed searched in the sea for half a month before finally finding the monster's nest in the depths of the sea. In order to prevent the monster from escaping, they had to spend a lot of time setting up spells around it. Finally, after the spells were set up, the two joined forces to fight the sea monster and finally killed it. The strength of the sea monster in the sea water was beyond the two people's expectations. The two people also tried their best to kill it, and they were more or less injured. If the spell was not arranged properly, the sea monster would definitely escape. This is just an S-level mission with a bounty of 10 million J. Luli and Urza went to do a mission with a bounty of 15 million J. He didn't think that two people could complete it. Laxus pretended to be indifferent and asked casually, "Where are Luli and Urza?" Bykoslo and Evergreen heard Laxus's question, and the smiles on their faces froze slightly, and they didn't know how to answer for a while. Laxus frowned. What? Did they get into trouble? It's all because of Luli's stubbornness. He actually chose such a difficult mission. Now he can't come back. Suddenly, Luli's voice sounded behind Laxus. "I'm so sorry to disappoint you. I'm still alive and well." Laxus turned around and saw Luli standing behind him intact, but he didn't see Urza. What's going on? Did Urza die? Luli ignored Laxus, stepped into the guild and said to Makarov, "President, I have completed the mission and returned." Before Makarov could speak, Laxus mocked Luli and said, "Completed? Even if you completed the mission, so what? The sun has set now, the time stipulated for the assessment has ended, and you have failed the assessment to advance to S-class wizard." Laxus' words made everyone in the guild quiet down, and they looked at Laxus strangely. Biscoro and Evergreen hurriedly said, "Wait. Laxus is not what you think." Laxus ignored Biscoro and Evergreen, but continued to stare at Luli and said, "What's more, you even killed your partner Urza, and you still have the face to come back and say that you have completed the mission. Luli, if you still have any shame, get out of the guild immediately." At this time, Urza's voice rang, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" Urza just went to the toilet, and when she came back, she saw everyone gathered together. "Urza, you're still alive." Laxus's face changed when he saw Urza's figure. Urza was a little confused. She had been alive all this time. What did Laxus mean by that? Laxus and Freed were also confused at this time. At this time, Evergreen said, "Luli and Urza, they completed the S-level mission within a week of the start of the assessment, returned to the guild, and were promoted to S-level wizards." Bixlo whispered, "Not only that, Luli also took on 2 other S-level missions one after another. After returning today, he should have completed all the missions." Laxus and Freed were all confused when they heard what Evergreen and Bixlo said. What? Impossible. Laxus and Freed couldn't believe it when they heard this. The two of them completed the S-level mission this time and knew how dangerous the S-level mission was. Their mission was only a mission with a reward of 10 million J, while Luli and Urza took a mission with a reward of 15 million J. The mission must be more difficult. As a result, you said that the two of them completed the mission in less than a week and came back. Moreover, during this period, Luli also completed the other 2 S-level missions. How is this possible? Those were life-threatening S-level missions, not those lousy missions on the first floor. If it weren't Evergreen and Bixlo who were talking, they wouldn't even doubt it. "Oh, it's good that it's completed." Makarov nodded with great satisfaction. Luli, this brat, was good in everything except that he was a little arrogant. He had just been promoted to an S-level wizard and cleared all the S-level missions in the guild. Unlike guildarts, who rarely came back once a year after going out, so he had to transfer many missions to other wizard guilds. Luli completed so many S-level missions, which not only increased the guild's income, but more importantly, its reputation. Simple missions can be done by any guild. And missions above S-level are the standard for evaluating the strength of a guild. Most importantly, at the next local guild meeting, he can brag to the other wizard guild leaders again, which makes him happiest. "Oh, I almost forgot." Luli turned around and looked at Laxus, with a bright smile on her face, and said, "Congratulations. Laxus, congratulations on your promotion to an S-class wizard." Suddenly, Laxus' eyes were a little absent-minded, and then his face began to become hideous and distorted. The joy and excitement of being promoted to an S-class wizard at the beginning disappeared without a trace. At this moment, there was only anger in his heart, endless anger. He remembered what he said when he accepted the task. He told Luli that he would come back in a week, and said that fortunately it was not a confrontational exam. But in the end, Luli completed the S-class task in a week and successfully promoted to an S-class wizard. And he just barely completed it at the last moment of the specified time. In the same time, Luli had completed 3 S-class tasks, and those tasks were even more difficult than the task he accepted. But Lu Li's words of congratulations and that smile now seemed to him to be mocking him. Crackling, crackling. Dense golden lightning appeared around Laxus' body. Laxus. Makarov immediately scolded Laxus when he saw his appearance. Laxus ignored Makarov. Staring at Lu Li. Lu Li, I want to fight you. Laxus, don't mess around. Makarov scolded Laxus. I'm not messing around. You and I are both newly promoted S-class wizards. We have to see who's better. Isn't that what you want? Laxus. Old man, this is between Lu Li and me. Even if you are the president, you have no right to intervene. After Laxus finished speaking to Makarov, he turned his eyes to Lu Li and said provocatively. Lu Li, do you dare or not? Lu Li smiled and said, I dare. What's there to be afraid of? Lu Li, even you. President, we are wizards. Since someone has invited me to fight, if I don't accept the challenge, I will be considered a coward, and this is just a simple competition. But, at this time, Gildart's voice sounded behind Makarov, saying, isn't this good? President. Young people should have the vigor of young people. Didn't you teach us that there are always people who are better than you? No matter who wins or loses between the two children, the other party will work hard to defeat the other party and practice hard. Isn't this a good thing? Makarov didn't say anything when he heard Gildarts say this. Seeing that his grandfather no longer objected, Laxus showed a slightly ferocious smile on his face. Just agree, then now. Lu Li raised his palm. Now I'm tired and hungry. If you want to decide the winner, let's set it in 3 days. Everyone in the guild is not blind. Lu Li is clean, while Laxus and Fried are in a very embarrassed state, and they have suffered some injuries to varying degrees. It is obvious that Lu Li is taking care of Laxus. Okay. Laxus didn't say much. He was in a bad state at the moment. He wanted to defeat Lu Li in his best state and let everyone know that he was the strongest. Lu Li was just lucky and did some simple S-level tasks. And he thought that he was really unlucky this time. He spent a lot of time looking for sea monsters, otherwise he wouldn't come back so late. Laxus turned and left the guild, and the 3 thunder gods immediately followed Laxus. Fairy Tail Guild soon became lively again. Fairy Tail Guild now has 3 S-level wizards, which is a good thing. This means that Fairy Tail can complete more S-level tasks in the future. Fairy Tail's reputation will become bigger and bigger, and the resources for tasks will become more and more extensive. If this continues, it may not be impossible to become the first guild in Fury in the future. Then everyone began to discuss who will win the duel between Lu Li and Laxus. In the past, most people in the guild would support Laxus. After all, Laxus inherited the magic power of the president, and his magic is powerful lightning magic. He is a genius magician and 4 years older than Lu Li. The gap of 4 years cannot be underestimated, especially at this age, which is the age when magicians grow rapidly. As for Lu Li, she has only studied magic for more than half a year, and she has become an S-level magician of Fairy Tail Guild in more than half a year. Think about it, Lu Li is really an incredible monster. Although they knew that Lu Li was a monster on the first day Lu Li joined Fairy Tail Guild, learning magic and using magic are 2 different things. Even if the same magic is used, the power of different people is different. But now Lu Li has proved with his own achievements that Lu Li is not only talented in learning magic, but also super powerful. In 1 month, he completed 3 S-level tasks. That is an S-level task. Even an S-level magician needs to risk his life, and these ordinary magicians can hardly touch the difficulty in their lifetime. But Lu Li made it look as easy as eating and drinking. This guy is really a monster. I heard that the minimum reward for S-level tasks is 10 million J. Lu Li earned at least 30 million J in a month. 30 million J, for those moonlighters, it is simply unimaginable. If you deposit this in the bank and earn interest, you won't have to work for the rest of your life. This is too enviable. But I envy it, but I won't be jealous. This is what he deserves. Everyone in the guild didn't know that Lu Li made more than 30 million J. To be precise, he made a full 40 million J this month. In addition to the first S-level mission of 15 million J, the other 2 S-level missions were paid 13 million J and 12 million J respectively. Converted into RMB, it was at least 2.4 million. Lu Li also experienced what it was like to live a rich life for the first time. It can't be spent. It can't be spent at all. I don't know if it's because he used to live a hard life before, but he is very keen on making money now. He didn't do the S-level mission for some boring stimulation laxus. He did the S-level mission very simply for money. He didn't plan to be a noble saint. He planned to be a vulgar person who was greedy, lustful, vain, and lazy. Gildarts also reported to Makarov about the task status of Laxus and Freed doing the S-level mission. He also secretly followed Laxus and Freed these days to prevent them from having any accidents during the mission. Laxus was unexpectedly strong, and he was more than capable of becoming an S-class wizard. Perhaps it would not take long for him to be caught up by Laxus. Laxus was indeed the blood of the president. Gildarts asked, "President, who do you think will win in the duel between the two of them?" Lu Li. Makarov answered without any hesitation. This surprised Gildarts. "President, are you so confident in Lu Li? Lu Li has only been practicing magic for half a year, and Laxus has grown a lot over the years. He taught Lu Li magic for a period of time, and also taught Lu Li some combat skills. Lu Li's magic talent is very strong, but talent is talent, and it takes time to grow with talent, so he is more optimistic about Laxus." Makarov said calmly. Laxus's growth is not small, but it is still far behind Lu Li. Now Gildarts was even more curious. He didn't know why the president was so confident in Lu Li. Was it because of some extraordinary performance in the promotion to the S-class task? Makarov's eyes seemed to be lost in memories. "You don't know, Lu Li, that little monster, may soon surpass you and me in strength." Gildarts couldn't help but widen his eyes when he heard Makarov's words. He knew the president, so he wanted the president to know him. The old man would never say this nonsense, but he really felt it. How is this possible? Lu Li, this brat, just turned 14. 3 days passed in a flash, and Laxus's figure hardly appeared in the guild during these 3 days, as if he was actively preparing for the battle. Lu Li came to the guild every day, eating, drinking and having fun, without any tension about the upcoming duel with Laxus. Laxus is coming. At this time, a person shouted at the door of the guild. Many people looked out the door and saw Laxus coming with the thunder gods. Compared to the embarrassment 3 days ago, Laxus is now fully prepared. Since both parties of the duel have arrived, the two of them came to the back of the Fairy Tale Guild together. Thanks to Lu Li's merciless sun attack, the land behind the Fairy Tale Guild has become more spacious, and it is easier to fight. "Kid, I don't know what means you used to complete the S-level mission so quickly, but I want to tell you that I can also complete the S-level mission, which is nothing. This time I will defeat you completely and let everyone in the guild know who is the strongest in Fairy Tale." Lu Li scratched his head. After you beat me, you are not the strongest in the guild. There are still the president and Uncle Gildarts in the guild. Don't worry, I will challenge them later, and now I just need to defeat you first. Gildarts looked at the two people and said, "How is it? Are you ready?" This time, the duel between Lu Li and Laxus was judged by Gildarts. Lu Li and Laxus both nodded. "Since everything is ready, let's start." Lightning Spear. Reggie Spear. Laxus and Lu Li raised their right hands almost at the same time, condensing golden lightning and bombarding each other. The golden light spears formed by two powerful electric currents collided in the middle. Boom. The magic of the two people was cancelled out together. Laxus's face was not very good when he saw this scene. This kid actually used his magic to deal with him. It was too arrogant. "Since you want to learn, I will let you learn enough." Laxus rushed towards Lu Li quickly, and golden lightning condensed on his fist and hit Lu Li. Lu Li did not dodge, and also condensed golden lightning on his fist to meet it. Boom. The fists of the two people collided with each other, bursting out a violent impact, and the ground under the feet of the two people was shattered. Laxus raised his leg and kicked Lu Li's head. This brat might have learned magic well, but there is a big gap between them in terms of fighting skills and physique, which cannot be made up by just looking at him. Lu Li ducked his head to avoid Laxus' kick and swept his foot towards Laxus' leg. Laxus's reaction was also very fast, and he jumped back to avoid Lu Li's attack. Lightning Shock. Laxus released a pillar of lightning from his palm. The subtitles in Lu Li's mind also appeared quickly. "You have seen the lightning shock, your understanding is against the sky, and you have understood the lightning shock." Lightning Shock. Lu Li raised his palm and used the same magic almost less than a second slower than Laxus. Boom. The two powerful lightning magics collided and cancelled each other out again. This guy. Laxus' eyes twitched. This was the first time he showed this move in front of Lu Li. He didn't expect this guy to learn it so quickly and even use it. Laxus rushed towards Lu Li again and competed with Lu Li in punches and kicks. Facing Laxus's fierce attack, Lu Li kept retreating and dodged all of Laxus' attacks. Strange. Doesn't Lu Li know a lot of powerful magic? Why doesn't he use it? Is he planning to use Laxus's magic to defeat Laxus? Everyone in the guild guessed Lu Li's idea. Laxus was not surprised, but such behavior made him even more angry. A fake wants to win, don't be so arrogant, you little brat. Crack. Laxus's body turned into a golden lightning, and instantly passed from above and appeared behind Lu Li. You have seen the lightning transformation, your understanding is against the sky, you have understood the lightning transformation. It turned out to be elementalization. Lu Li's eyes lit up, he really likes this skill. It is not shown much in fairy tale, only Laxus's lightning elementalization and Juvia's water elementalization. But it is very famous in the world of One Piece, it is a skill exclusive to natural devil fruit ability users. At first, it was an almost invincible ability, and later after the introduction of the concept of domineering, it seemed not so against the sky, but it was also quite practical. Violent Volt. Laxus rushed behind Lu Li and waved his hand to release a powerful high-voltage electricity. Lu Li's fist was wrapped with lightning, and he faced the attack head-on. Boom. The high-voltage electricity released by Laxus was shattered by Lu Li. You have observed Violent Volt, you have a superb understanding, and you have comprehended Violent Volt. Lu Li discovered that for him who had already learned lightning magic, the use of this move was faster to comprehend and learn. It's not over yet. Laxus shouted loudly, releasing a large number of lightning balls in his hand to surround Lu Li's body. You have observed Lightning Bullet, you have a superb understanding, and you have comprehended Lightning Bullet. Then they were all detonated by Laxus in one breath. Boom 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 boom. Lu Li. Hey hey hey. Do you have to be so serious? The guild members couldn't help but feel a little worried when they saw this scene. Makarov, Guildarts and Urza didn't change their expressions. Makarov and Urza had seen the terrifying strength that Lu Li showed when she was doing S-rank missions. This kind of powerful magic was nothing to Lu Li. Guildarts had taught Lu Li that Lu Li would use his crushing magic. As long as Lu Li wanted, he could crush the magic at any time. There was no need to worry. Soon, the smoke from the explosion dissipated, and the place where Lu Li was full of potholes, but there was no trace of Lu Li. Where is Lu Li? Crackling. A golden lightning suddenly appeared on the ground under Laxus' feet. Laxus's face changed. Boom. A beam of golden lightning broke out of the ground and formed the shape of Lu Li. Lu Li hit Laxus on the chin with an uppercut. Woo. Laxus' body was hit high by Lu Li, and finally turned over and landed steadily on the ground. This punch did not cause much physical damage to him, but it caused considerable psychological damage to him. Mira, who was watching, said, if Lu Li had used Uncle Guildart's magic just now, this battle would have been over. Urza said, Uncle Guildart's magic is too dangerous and cannot be used on companions. Mira curled her lips and said, I know, I'm just saying. Stinky brat. Don't be so arrogant. Boom. Laxus roared angrily, concentrating his magic power on his whole body, and his whole body burst into dazzling golden lightning. The ground around him was broken, and it looked like a Super Saiyan transformation, which made Lu Li's eyes shine. I'm rich, and I've learned a lot of lightning magic moves. It turns out that fighting is the best way to grow. You have observed the lightning suit, your understanding is against the sky, and you have understood the lightning suit. Boom. Lu Li also followed suit and used the lightning suit. Golden lightning burst out from his body, and the ground around him was broken. It looked like two Super Saiyans were facing off. So cool. Natsu's eyes lit up when he saw this move. Gray's mouth twitched and said, no, this should be so scary. Whether it is Laxus or Lu Li, the strength they have shown now is far beyond theirs. They may not be able to survive a single move in the hands of the two. Especially Lu Li, this pervert. He actually learned and applied it in the battle. He can also understand why Laxus is so angry. Using his own magic to defeat himself, what could be worse than this? In comparison, he would rather Lu Li use the uncle's magic or the president's magic to defeat him, anyway, as long as it is not Natsu's magic. Crack. Boom. Lu Li and Laxus started together, and the two of them rushed towards each other at a high speed, and the ground they passed by exploded. Boom 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 boom. The two people's fists and feet fought fiercely, and the impact of the collision and burst of magic made everyone terrified. They finally understood why Lu Li and Laxus could become S-class wizards of the Fairy Tale Guild. The strength of the two was much stronger than that of ordinary wizards in the guild. Guildarts was also very surprised. Are young people nowadays so energetic? Laxus became more and more impatient because he could not defeat Lu Li for a long time. A mere stinky kid actually used fake magic to fight him on equal terms. This was simply a great shame for him. Lu Li was very happy at this time. He enjoyed this kind of fight the most. In the previous life, due to various legal reasons, if you were beaten, if you fought back, it was called mutual fighting. If you hurt the other party, you had to pay compensation. Life was already difficult, and you had to pay compensation, which was like adding insult to injury. The best way was to do nothing, let the other party beat you, and then do the injury assessment and wait for the money. You got the money, but your dignity was gone. As a man, if you don't fight back when you are beaten, you are a coward. In this world, there is no need to care about those things. Fight hard when you need to fight, kill when you need to kill, and the strong will be the king. This is the world he longs for. Lu Li became more and more excited as he fought, and his strength and speed began to increase gradually without him noticing. This increase made Laxus gradually fall into a disadvantage. He was actually suppressed by this stinky kid, which made Laxus suddenly intolerable. Snap. Laxus grabbed Lu Li's fist. Crackling. Almost at this moment, a golden lightning magic circle appeared under Lu Li's feet. The lightning magic circle created golden lightning and trapped Lu Li. Boy, you can't escape now. You have observed the lightning magic circle, you have a natural understanding and have comprehended the lightning magic circle. Although he was trapped, Lu Li was not panicked at all. On the contrary, he felt very happy to learn this new way of using lightning. Laxus raised his right fist high and chanted a spell. What resounds through the sky is the roar of summoning thunder and lightning, which falls from the sky and turns everything into ashes. You have observed the raging thunder and lightning, and you have a natural understanding of the raging thunder and lightning. Lu Li also raised her right fist high and chanted a spell. What resounds through the sky is the roar of summoning thunder and lightning, which falls from the sky and turns everything into ashes. Boom boom boom. A large amount of thunder and lightning gathered in the thunder and lightning clouds above Lu Li and Laxus' heads. In a blink of an eye, the thunder and lightning clouds formed a huge and dazzling thunder and lightning ball with a diameter of about 5 meters. No way. Are they really playing this? Everyone in Fairy Tale was shocked. The magic power contained in the thunder and lightning ball was very terrifying. If it really hit, it would be fatal. Guildarts looked at Makarov, who was also a little worried, but did not choose to stop him. With Lu Li's magic power, he should be able to withstand it, and Laxus could dodge it if he dodged. Thunder pressure raging waves. Thunder pressure raging waves. The two shouted together, and the thunder ball above Laxus' head fell towards Laxus. At this moment, Laxus laughed. Ha 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 ha. Brat. You actually want to knock me down with lightning magic. Laxus raised his head, opened his mouth and sucked the thunder ball fiercely, and all the thunder balls were swallowed into Laxus' mouth. What? Laxus ate the lightning. Everyone in the guild was shocked to see this scene. This is not Natsu's Dragon Slayer magic. They have all seen the magic that can swallow other people's magic, that is Natsu's Fire Dragon Slayer magic, which can swallow fire magic. Laxus's appearance is almost the same as Natsu's swallowing of fire, but the difference is that Natsu swallowed fire, while Laxus swallowed lightning. Fall down. The huge ball of lightning fell towards Lu Li. Lu Li looked up at the falling ball of lightning, but she was not afraid at all, and her eyes showed excitement. Boom. The dazzling ball of lightning swallowed Lu Li's body, and then a terrifying explosion broke out. Lu Li. Seeing this terrifying power, many people were very worried. Such power would definitely not be able to be withstood by ordinary wizards. Ha ha ha. Brat. I won in the end. I am the strongest. Laxus laughed happily. Laxus, your magic is. Makarov had guessed the magic Laxus used at this moment, but he couldn't help but confirm it. Laxus's mouth curled up, and a smug expression appeared on his face. Yes, that is Thunder Dragon Slayer magic. How could you? Are you also a dragon slayer? Laxus. Natsu shouted in shock. I was shocked to hear that you are a dragon slayer, Natsu. I kept it a secret because I was afraid that you would keep talking. As a result, Lu Li, this brat, was so proud of himself that he really thought he was invincible if he wasn't taught a lesson. You have observed the Thunder Dragon Slayer magic, you have a supernatural comprehension, and you have comprehended the Thunder Dragon Slayer magic. You want to merge the Thunder Dragon Slayer magic into Dragon God Transformation 090. The fusion is successful. Please name the new magic you created. No need to change it, it is still called God Transformation. In this world, the more magic is merged, the more powerful the magic is. And the Dragon Slayer magic itself is the magic that can hunt dragons. It can be merged with multiple Dragon Slayer magics, and the power is naturally more terrifying. Since he created the Dragon God Transformation, how can there be only one change? From the beginning, Lu Li did not intend to take a separate path. His Dragon God Transformation must merge Dragon Slayer magics of different attributes. Just like in the finale, when Na defeated Anarolia, he merged the power used by many Dragon Slayers. The reason why he has been using lightning magic is to stimulate Laxus to use Thunder Dragon Slayer magic, and sure enough, Laxus did as he expected. When ordinary lightning magic can't defeat him, he will definitely use Thunder Dragon Slayer magic when he is forced into a corner. Dragon God Transformation is named successfully. Boom. Lu Li exudes powerful magic power, and red-black flames and lightning appear around Lu Li's body, looking like a god of fire and thunder BBFA. Crackling. The ground around Lu Li's body keeps breaking, and Lu Li feels the terrifying power contained in his body. The power of the two dragon-slaying magics is simply multiplied. What? Everyone was also surprised to see Lu Li's changes. You guy. Laxus' pupils shrank suddenly. Thunder Dragon Slayer magic. It's really good magic. Lu Li you. Makarov suddenly thought of something. Lu Li nodded and smiled. Well, I learned the Thunder Dragon Slayer magic, and merged it with the Fire Dragon Slayer magic. What? You merged the Fire Dragon Slayer magic with the Thunder Dragon Slayer magic. This is a magic that can destroy dragons. The fusion of these two magics, how terrifying will the power of this magic be? Suddenly, Laxus roared. I don't believe it. Laxus raised his hands, and a Fang Tian Hua Ji formed by lightning appeared in front of Laxus. Thunder Dragon Fang Tian Hua Ji. Laxus threw the Thunder Dragon Fang Tian Hua Ji in his hand towards Lu Li. Lu Li stood still, opened his mouth, and sucked hard. The Thunder Dragon Fang Tian Hua Ji was swallowed directly into Lu Li's stomach. You have observed the Thunder Dragon Fang Tian Ji, your understanding is against the sky, and you have comprehended the Dragon Fang Tian Ji. Eat it. Being able to eat thunder magic means that Lu Li has indeed learned Thunder Dragon Slayer magic. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. Laxus roared and rushed towards Lu Li, condensing the Thunder Dragon's lightning on his fist. Thunder Dragon's collapse fist. Lu Li stood still and raised his palm. Boom. The ground under the feet of the two people shattered, and Lu Li blocked Laxus' attack with one hand. You have observed the Thunder Dragon's collapse fist, you have a natural understanding, and you have understood the Thunder Dragon's collapse fist. Lu Li looked at Laxus with great interest and asked, anything else? Anything else? Today, he not only learned Thunder Dragon Slayer magic from Laxus, but also learned a lot of magic moves, which can be said to be a great harvest, so he was in a very good mood. But Lu Li's appearance seemed to Laxus to be looking down on him. Laxus clasped his fingers together, raised them high, gathered all his magic power into his fists, and smashed them down on Lu Li's head with all his strength. Thunder Dragon Jaw. Lu Li raised his left arm to block. Boom. The ground under Lu Li's feet exploded, and the strong impact spread to the surroundings. Many people couldn't help but cover their hands. After seeing the situation in the field clearly, the onlookers all fell silent. In the center of the impact, Luli was still safe and sound, and only one hand resisted Laxus's terrifying magic attack. Gildarts shook his head and said, "The gap is too big." He finally understood why the president was so confident in Luli. With the strength shown by Luli now, it far surpassed Laxus. Laxus was not Luli's opponent at all. Makarov sighed and said, "From the moment Luli comprehended the Thunder Dragon Slayer magic, this duel has ended. Let's not talk about the level of thunder magic of the two people. Luli has learned the Thunder Dragon Slayer magic, and she is already invincible, because Thunder attribute magic is almost ineffective against Thunder Dragon Slayer. Laxus can only use thunder magic, while Luli can use magic other than thunder. His giant magic, Gildarts's crushing magic, and Natsu's Dragon Slayer magic. Originally, he was worried that Luli would learn too many complicated magics and would not be able to specialize. Unexpectedly, Luli, this brat, relied on his extraordinary comprehension to forcibly integrate other magic systems into his own magic system and walked out a road that no one has walked before. You have observed the jaw of Thunder Dragon, you have extraordinary comprehension, and you have comprehended the jaw of Thunder Dragon. Looking at Luli, who took his move and was still intact, Laxus looked a little dazed. Luli looked at Laxus and smiled and said, "Anything else?" Then his face became hideous and twisted. Boom. Horrible magic power burst out from Laxus' body. Laxus took a deep breath and his chest swelled up. I really don't want to eat this. Seeing Laxus's posture, Luli knew that Laxus was going to use the roar. To be honest, this is actually magic, but Luli doesn't want to eat the magic that comes out of the opponent's mouth. Luli also took a deep breath and made a similar posture to Laxus. Disappear. The roar of the Thunder Dragon tilde. The roar of the Dragon God. The two roared together. Laxus spewed out golden lightning. Luli spewed out a huge thunder flame that combined the dual attributes of lightning and fire. Boom. The two powerful magics collided with each other. Suddenly, a terrifying impact burst out to the surroundings. Laxus increased the intensity of his magic output, but the two were no longer on the same level in terms of magic power or magic. The red-black lightning flame destroyed the golden lightning and rushed towards Laxus. Laxus was drowned by the lightning flame. Laxus wanted to swallow the lightning, but he didn't expect that he could not swallow the lightning at all. Not good. Gildarts immediately raised his hand to release magic when he saw this. Crush. A flying grid passed by and decomposed the lightning flame released by Luli into cubes. Bang. The magic was decomposed and dissipated. Gildarts' magic was to destroy the magic from the atom, so when the destroyed magic dissipated, it could not even cause any waves. Bang. Laxus knelt on the ground and fell straight down. Laxus. The three Thors saw this and their faces changed drastically, and they immediately rushed forward. Makarov was also very worried. No matter how rebellious Laxus was, he was his only relative and his grandson. Gildarts checked and said, "Don't worry, it's just that the magic power was consumed too much, and he fainted temporarily. Just sleep and he will be fine the next day." After hearing Gildarts' words, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Gildarts said to Luli, "You little brat, you don't know how to control your strength, and you don't know how to show mercy." Luli scratched his cheek embarrassedly. "I have tried my best to hold back." What? Almost everyone was stunned when they heard this. This was already showing mercy, so what would Luli look like when he used his full strength? Makarov and Urza knew that Luli was telling the truth. If he had used the power he showed during the S-level mission, Laxus would have been defeated by Luli long ago. But the two of them didn't know that Luli was letting him go for more than that. Second magic source, Dragon God Breathing Method, Dragon God Domineering Method, Dragon God Perception Method, Dragon God Giant Spirit God Form, Dragon God Six-Winged Seraph Form, Dragon God Demon Suit. This is just magic. He also has the power of the Demon King, but he always feels that this power comes a little inexplicably, so he tries not to use it if he can. But Luli had not intended to show all his strength. As a traditional virtue of the Huxia nation, if there are 10 points in everything, 7 points must be hidden. Only 3 points can be shown to the outside world, so that others will never know what your trump card is. Everyone quickly returned to the guild, and the guild was eagerly discussing the battle just now. Many of them had never seen such a wonderful battle. In the evening, Luli returned to his home and began to practice with all his strength again. He did not feel proud because he defeated Laxus. This is only 17-year-old Laxus. There are countless strong people in this world, and there is also the black dragon to face. He must become stronger. Half asleep and half awake, Luli heard someone calling his name. Luli slowly opened his eyes and found himself in a pure white space. Then, Luli saw a girl who was about 10 years old, with a slender figure and a cute face. She had purple twin ponytails and wore a thin white dress. She was just a little girl, but she gave people a very feminine feeling. "You are finally here, my lovely son." Quote. Luli's mouth twitched when he heard this. He didn't remember that he had such a young mother. If he hadn't seen that the other party was a little girl, he might have slapped her directly. "You like to take sons when you have nothing to do. You think you are a white beard. Who are you? Where is this place?" Luli looked around and asked. "I am your mother, Pandora." Huh. Luli's palm ignited a terrifying flame, which immediately scared Pandora. Wait. I am really your mother Pandora. 0. Crackle crackle. The flame on Luli's palm was mixed with thunder and lightning. "My name is Pandora. This is the underworld. I have no bad intentions towards you. Can you put out the flame in your hand?" Pandora negotiated carefully. She saw Luli with her own eyes. How did Li beat up that Veleslana? Although she manages the God-Killer reincarnation ceremony, she may not be Veleslana's opponent in a fight, let alone this fierce man who killed Veleslana without any injury. The Netherworld. Yes, this place is also called the Star Netherworld. This is not the real world, nor is it heaven or hell. It is the realm of life and immortality. Then who are you? I am Pandora, the wife of the immortal Epimetheus, the god who manages the God-Killer reincarnation ceremony, and the mother of all God-Killers. God. Are you the god of disobedience? Pandora waved her hands quickly. No, I am not the god of disobedience. You are the mother of the God-Killer. Did you do something with the power I have? Pandora nodded. Yes, normally, all those who fight with God and defeat God are actually dying. And I will use the reincarnation technique to transfer the power of the defeated god and the body that can compete with the god as a reward to the person who defeated the god, and turn him into a demon king, that is, a godslayer. So, I am like a reborn parent to the godslayer. Do you think I am your mother? Luli pouted and said, I'm not dying. Pandora was speechless. Yes, not only was she not dying, she was still alive and kicking. She suspected that if another god came at that time, Luli would be able to beat him to death, so she didn't even dare to show her head at that time. She was afraid that Luli would kill her as a disobedient god, which would be terrible. However, she couldn't miss such a powerful human. So she secretly used the circle of calculation. Transferred Veleslana's power to Luli, making Luli a godslayer. Who knew that Luli would use the power as soon as he had it, and then ran away directly, leaving her in a mess before she could explain. When she found Erica, Luli had disappeared. Using her special ability, she got out of Erica's mouth that Luli was actually from Otherworld. She couldn't get more information. When she asked some important questions, the other party seemed to be frozen. So she began to try to call Luli's name. As long as the user's name is called, Luli can sense it, and then be brought by the power of Veleslana's Strongwind incarnation. It took her a whole month to call Luli here. But the child didn't recognize her as a mother, which was really sad. Then what is your purpose in calling me here? Does it have to be a purpose to call you here? If there is nothing, I'll leave. Wait. Do you hate me so much? After all, I am the one who gave you Veleslana's power. Pandora hurriedly stepped forward and grabbed Luli, looking pitiful. Power. I'm not very interested in that thing. Luli was speaking the truth. Compared to the inferior products that needed to be plundered, he preferred the magic he practiced. The feeling of becoming stronger little by little was the best, not the additional buff. How could it be? That's the power of God. It was the power of Veleslana. Even among the gods, Lena was the strongest among the strong. God. It seems to me that it's just that. Pandora couldn't refute it. This Luli was different from all the god slayers she had seen. This was a single-handed defeat of a powerful god among all gods. It was a miracle among miracles for humans to defeat gods, but for this young man, it was not a miracle, but a matter of course. Are all humans in Otherworld so powerful? Are those in the West comparable to gods? Miss Pandora, do you have anything else to say? No. Wait a minute. Before Pandora finished speaking, Luli's body was surrounded by a gust of wind. Swish. Luli's figure disappeared in the star world. He ran away so quickly. Pandora stomped her feet in anger, but soon a smile appeared on her face again. There is an old saying in the East, you can run away from the monk, but you can't run away from the temple. Since you have become a godslayer, you will eventually face your own fate. Although he didn't know which world Luli was from, since he could come to this world once, he could come again. No, he had come twice. The first time, he defeated the boar incarnation of Veleslana, and the second time, he killed Veleslana. Moreover, every time, he appeared when the girl named Erica was in trouble, which means that the two had a close relationship. Then if Erica was in danger, he would definitely appear. Italy. After a day of training, Erica was humming a song while taking a bath. Unconsciously, she recalled the scene of her kissing Luli again in her mind. She didn't know why she was so bold at that time, but she felt that if she didn't take the initiative at that time, she would definitely regret it. That was her contract of submission and belonging to the other party. Really, this world is in chaos, but you are safe and at ease. What a casual king. Veleslana was killed, and the seventh demon king was born in this world. This matter has caused a sensation in the entire magic world. No one knows who leaked the news that she knew the seventh demon king, which caused countless magic societies to ask her about the seventh demon king. Without Luli's permission, she would not leak the information about the seventh demon king. Moreover, she did not want to leak it, so that no one would compete with her. In this world, Luli belongs to her alone. Then, Erica was a little angry again. Really, it has been a month, and he has not contacted her actively. What kind of person does he think she is? She wanted to contact Luli several times, but she didn't know what to say after contacting. So she simply left home to avoid being found, and worked hard to practice. She didn't help at all in the last 2 times, which was a big blow to her. She is the eldest daughter of the famous Browntree family in the magic world, a genius with the rank of Grand Knight and the title of Crimson Demon. She naturally wants to become a woman worthy of the king, and she is not willing to be a vase. Luli, what are you doing now? Suddenly, a gust of wind appeared in the bathroom, and then a figure she had been thinking about appeared in front of her. Erica was stunned when she saw Luli appear. She didn't invite Luli to come. But she gave up thinking about those things immediately. The surprise of seeing Luli again made her forget that she was not wearing anything now. Luli. Erica stood up directly from the bathtub and ran towards Luli. Luli was also a little confused at this moment. He sensed that someone was reading his name, so he tried to activate the strong wind, but he didn't expect it to work. As soon as he came here, he saw Erica running towards him in this posture. Which man would not be confused if he saw this scene? Erica hugged Luli. Luli, you are finally here, I missed you so much. Luli's hands were somewhat uncontrollable and held Erica's slender waist, his eyes darting around. To be honest, the scene in front of him was a little too exciting for a novice like him. Erica, this is not good, when did we become so close? Erica looked into Luli's eyes and said, when you stood up to fight against the gods for me, I fell deeply in love with you. Against the gods. To be honest, he was a little nervous at first, but he got better and better at it. The gods sounded intimidating, but their strength was just so-so. He didn't know how shocking his performance was to others, especially to a magician family like Erica who had lived under the shadow of the god of disobedience since childhood. Being able to defeat the gods head-on in that manner, in Erica's heart, Luli was already her god. After Erica said this, she closed her eyes and stood on tiptoe to kiss Luli's lips. Although Luli was only 14 years old, she had grown taller in the past 6 months because of practicing dragon-slaying magic. She was even taller than Erica, who was 16 years old. A soft feeling hit Luli's self-control, and then Luli's self-control was directly overwhelmed, and her hands became aware of themselves and began to disobey. 11 Then everything happened naturally. looking at the traces left by the two people on the bed after their absurdity. Lu Li had to admit that she was not a gentleman, nor was she Lu Shahui who could remain calm even when a woman made her conceit. She was just a greedy and lustful person. Erica leaned in Lu Li's arms with an infatuated look on her face. Suddenly, Erica leaned close to Lu Li's ear and whispered, "Lu Li, how many times have you done this?" Puff. Lu Li was once again startled by Erica's boldness. No matter how many times, I'm only 14. Erica was happy to hear this. Then I am your first woman, which means I am your first wife. What? What first wife? Can I have many wives? Why not? You are the king. As a king, it is normal to have as many women as you want. Lu Li's mouth twitched when he heard this. He had heard that foreign women were more open-minded, but he didn't expect them to be so open-minded. Of course, openness is openness. The bright red bloodstains prove that this girl is also the first time. Huxia men have a virgin mentality in their bones, and Lu Li is the same. If he was just a man who coveted Erica's beauty before. After this experience, he has truly regarded Erica as his woman. By the way, Lu Li, how did you get here? Lu Li told what happened before. Pandora. You know. Erica nodded. I know, she is the wife of Epimetheus, the brother of Prometheus. She is the goddess who opened the box full of disasters and a glimmer of hope, and she is in charge of the secret ceremony of reincarnating the God Slayer. So, the God Slayer is also called the illegitimate son of Epimetheus, that is, the son of the fool, so she calls you her son. Lu Li said disdainfully. I don't want to be her son, she just transferred the power of Veleslana to me without my consent. That kind of power is not very useful to me. If you like, I can help you find a disobedient god to solve it. Anyway, these disobedient gods will bring disasters. Looking at Veleslana's unscrupulous appearance, you can see that the devil is the devil of God. For humans, the devil is a hero and the supreme king. When Erica heard Lu Li's words, she smiled happily, shook her head and said, no, according to the records, there are requirements for the ritual. You must kill the opponent who seizes the power with your own strength and sacrifice the life of the killed god to seize the power. Is that so? Then let's accumulate group points to exchange for magic. Those powers are nothing big. Erica looked at Lu Li with admiration. If someone else said this, she would definitely sneer, but Lu Li's words were extremely convincing. I will study the magic of your world in the next few days, and then create a set of magic suitable for you. He wanted to teach Erica directly, but the chat group did not allow such private transactions. Erica felt extremely happy when she heard Lu Li's words, and her love almost overflowed when she looked at Lu Li's eyes. Looking at Erica's eyes, Lu Li knew that he had to start working again. Alas, he is still a child. Just when Lu Li was about to continue fighting. Buzz. The chat group vibrated. Wait a minute, someone tagged me. The group usually chats when they have nothing to do, and only when there is something will they tag someone. Erica also opened her chat group panel when she heard this. Tasaka Rin. At Lu Li, brother Lu Li, are you there? I want to ask you for help. Lu Li, what's wrong? Xiao Lin. Tusaka Rin began to talk about her own affairs. The one who was in trouble was not Tusaka Rin, but her sister Tusaka Sakura. Tusaka Sakura was her biological sister, 1 year younger than her, and had the same high magic talent as her. However, the magic seal of the magic family can only be passed on to one heir, so she was designated by her father as the heir of the Tusaka family because she was 1 year older than her sister. As for another magic family, the Meidou family, the magic circuit in their bloodline was gradually cut off due to the climate and soil. The head of the Meidou family asked the head of the Tusaka family, Xiaolin's father, to adopt a person with magic circuits as an heir to continue the offspring. She secretly heard that her father was going to adopt her sister Sakura. She didn't want Sakura to go to the Meidou family. On the one hand, she was reluctant to be separated from her sister, and on the other hand, her sister Tusaka Sakura was still so young, and it was too cruel for her sister to be separated from her relatives. Erica. Then Xiao Lin, just say no to your father. He is your father and he should agree to you. Tasaka Rin. I told you, but my father refused because he wanted to fulfill the alliance between the Meidou family and the Tasaka family, and he also said it was for Sakura's own good. Tasaka Rin. I can't convince my father at all. Lu Li, then what do you want me to do? Tosaka Rin, I've already thought about it. Brother Lu Li, I want you to come to my house as my teacher and tell my father that you have accepted me as your apprentice. Lu Li, then what? Will your father allow you to become my apprentice? Even if you become my apprentice, how can you change your father's mind? Lu Li asked with some curiosity. He still had some impression of Rin's father. In his impression, he was a very rigid man, who was perfect and meticulous in his words and deeds, and had the elegant temperament of an aristocrat. Of course, the main reason for his impression was that he was the master of Jin Shanshan. Not counting various side quests, Jin Shanshan was undoubtedly at the combat ceiling of the Holy Grail world. According to the timeline, the Fourth Holy Grail War should be about to begin. Rin Tosaka. Of course, as long as Brother Lu Li shows his magic circuit, father will never refuse. Maybe other people don't understand the value of the magic circuit uploaded by Lu Li, but only know that the price of the magic on Lu Li's shelves is terrifyingly high. Rin Tosaka is very clear that it is simply a magic circuit that has never been seen before. As long as her father sees it, he will definitely go crazy for it. How could he refuse? Tosaka Rin. Then, Brother Lu Li, you said you would pass the magic seal to me. In this case, I can't inherit the magic seal of the Tosaka family. For the sake of family inheritance, my father can only choose Sakura, so Sakura doesn't have to be sent to the Meitu family. Lu Li was a little surprised. Although he felt it when they chatted before, Tosaka Rin was quite smart except that she was a little naughty. She can't be regarded as a child at all, and now it seems to be true. This little girl's analysis is well reasoned, like a little adult. Is this a genius? Lu Li, okay, I can help you a little. Tosaka Rin, thank you, Brother Lu Li. Brother Lu Li, you are the best. But unfortunately, the points I have accumulated with great difficulty are going to be used up again. 3 tilde. She is trying hard to accumulate points to buy the circuit development method and magic equipment construction method that Lu Li has put on the shelves. For this reason, she has been fooling Kanae and Whitebeard with the good sister and good father these days, and her little mouth is as sweet as honey. If Lu Li is summoned, she may return to the pre-liberation era. Lu Li, don't worry about this. When the time comes, you can try to call my name in a place where the wind can reach, and at the same time, tag me in the chat group, let me see if I can go directly there. Tosaka Rin. Lu Li, don't worry about this. When the wind blows, you can try to call my name, and at the same time, tag me in the chat group, let me see if I can go directly there. Tosaka Rin. Lu Li, don't worry about this. When the wind blows, you can try to call my name, and at the same time, tag me in the chat group, let me see if I can go directly there. Tosaka Rin. Lu Li, don't worry about this. Li, didn't I kill a disobedient god a month ago? The first incarnation of the power of the disobedient god is strong wind. When a familiar person calls the user's name, as long as the user senses the other party's call, he can instantly move to the other party's location through the wind. No matter how far away, he can instantly reach it, even in other worlds. Lu Li, actually, I'm not sure if I can get there. I'm just calling, and I definitely can't sense different worlds, but the chat group just makes up for this. Tosaka Rin. Lu Shen is invincible. Lu Li, it's no big deal. It can only be used once a day, which means it may be more convenient to cross the world, but it doesn't help much in terms of strength. There are all kinds of powerful space magic in the fairy tale world, such as teleportation and absolute territory. He will list these magics as compulsory subjects in the future. Not only space magic, but also time magic, time suspension, time reversal, and even powerful ones can cross the long river of time to the future. There are so many powerful magics waiting for him to learn, and the power of the disobedient god is very important to Lu. How attractive can Li be? Tosaka Rin. Wow. The things that Brother Lu Li doesn't want are all treasures that we can only dream of but cannot reach. Lu Li. Okay, if you need me anytime, just tag me. Tosaka Rin. I know, thank you Brother Lu Li. Lu Li closed the chat group panel. Turning around, she saw Erica looking at her with burning eyes. This eager look scared Lu Li. Dear, can you cross the world? It should be almost the same, but it still needs the help of the chat group, otherwise I can't sense it at all. In other words, if I want dear in the future, I can call you directly, right? Well, that's right. Great. I can be with my husband often in the future. Erica threw herself on Lu Li and said happily. The main reason why she didn't contact Lu Li during this period was not the girl's modesty, but simply because she didn't have enough points. She was trying to accumulate points so that Lu Li could stay longer next time, just like today. Now she could get Lu Li to come without points, which was the best news for her. This power was nothing to Lu Li, but it was the most useful power for her. Erica called him husband, which made Lu Li's bones feel a little soft. This was the first time he heard a woman call him that. Then the battle started again. The battle lasted for a whole night before gradually subsided. Looking at Erica who was sleeping soundly, Lu Li opened the chat group panel and clicked return. Swish. Lu Li returned to the world of fairy tale. Huh. Lu Li breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, she practiced the dragon god transformation, otherwise her 14-year-old body would not be able to bear it. He Qian Zhao even killed the god of disobedience, but he couldn't beat a woman in bed. Where would his face be? Lu Li took a shower, tidied himself up, and found that there were no marks left, so he walked towards the guild. Coming to the guild every day has become a habit for Lu Li. Just like punching in at work, he likes to stay in the guild even if he just wants to go fishing. Although he can actually stay in the world of God Slayer, he always feels out of tune with other worlds. And the existence of those gods makes Lu Li feel a little insecure. Although he despises those powers, he does not despise those gods. One Veleslana is very strong. If there are more gods of disobedience, can he still be the opponent of the other party? He must become stronger. In the end, he still belongs to the world of fairy tale. Holy Grail world. Sakura, don't worry. I have a way to prevent you from being adopted into the Meitu family. After getting Lu Li's answer, Rin Tosaka immediately told her sister Sakura the good news. When Sakura heard her sister say this, a slightly stiff smile appeared on her face. She knew her father's character. Since the decision was made, it was almost impossible to change it. No matter what her sister did, it was impossible to change her father's mind. But she saw her sister's unremitting efforts to help her during this period of time, and she was very moved. Sister, Sakura is fine. Sakura lowered her head and whispered. After seeing this, Rin Tosaka immediately realized that her sister did not believe it. Sakura, I know it's hard for you to believe it, but you will know when the time comes. Tosaka Rin held Sakura's hand, looking confident. Sakura was a little curious to see her sister like this. These days, since her sister learned that she was going to be adopted into the Meitu family, she has been arguing with her father and not letting her father send her away. She hasn't smiled for a long time, but now her sister's confident look on her face is definitely not deceiving. Could it be that her sister really has a way to make her father change his mind? She couldn't help but look forward to it secretly in her heart. 3 days passed in a flash. During these 803 days, Lu Li went to the guild to punch in during the day and went to work in the God Slayer world at night. After tasting the marrow, the ending is out of control, depravity, depravity. Fortunately, he has now mastered the dragon god breathing method, which can be used for more than 54 hours in the full concentration. His own strength is constantly getting stronger in a subtle way. But he can't stand this kind of depravity. After solving Shaolin's problem, he will practice hard for a few days to make up for all the wasted time. At this moment, the chat group panel vibrated. Tosaka Rin. At Lu Li brother, I'm calling you now. Lu Li, got it. Tosaka Rin began to call Lu Li's name. Lu Li. Lu Li. Lu Li. Because of the chat group, Lu Li already had consciousness in his mind. He sensed that someone was calling him, so he activated the ability of strong wind. A gust of strong wind swirled around Lu Li's body, and then Lu Li tapped her toes and disappeared instantly in the strong wind. Tosaka Rin was afraid that Lu Li couldn't hear it, so she kept calling Najili's name. Huh. A tornado appeared out of thin air, and Lu Li's figure instantly appeared in the tornado, and her feet landed lightly on the ground. Lu Li brother. Tosaka Rin saw that Lu Li really appeared, and immediately ran over in surprise and hugged Lu Li's waist. Although Lu Li had never seen Tasaka Rin had seen Lu Li twice. Lu Li's powerful appearance in Erika's world left an extremely deep impression on Tasaka Rin, and she had completely become Tasaka Rin's idol. Lu Li touched Rin's head. What's going on? Rin then remembered that now was not the time to chat with her idol. The head of the Meitu family has come to my house and is talking to my father. Sakura will be taken away soon. In that case, take me there. At this time, in the living room, Tosaka Tokiomi and Meitu Zuken were talking. Sakura was standing in front of the two people at this moment. Tosaka Tokiomi adopted his daughter to Meitu Zuken, so naturally he had to get enough benefits from Meitu Zuken. Meitu Zuken also agreed to the conditions given by Tosaka Tokiomi, without any intention of bargaining, which made the conversation between the two people very smooth. Sakura, who was standing in front of the two people, didn't notice that her face had turned pale. Soon, all the conditions of the exchange were met. Tosaka Tokiomi said to Sakura, Sakura, you also heard that when you get there, the Meitu family will do their best to train you, and even let you inherit the magic seal of the Meitu family. I know this may be a bit cruel for a child like you, but you are my daughter, and you have an extraordinary talent for magic. If you only stay in the Tosaka family, your future may be mediocre. Adopting you to the Meitu family is not for the benefit of the family. I made this decision for your future. I hope my daughter will be a magician that your mother, sister and I will be proud of in the future. Do you understand? Sakura bit her lip. She didn't want to be a strong person. If possible, she would rather be an ordinary person without the magic talent. But she didn't want to disappoint her father. She could only smile and said, I know, father. Tosaka Tokiomi smiled with satisfaction, and then looked at an old man with a hunchback, bald head, a body as thin as a mummy, and gloomy eyes. This person is the head of the Meitu family, Meitu Zuken. Master Meitu, I hope my daughter will be adopted. I don't want her to suffer any grievances. He, don't worry, Master Tosaka, I will do what I promised you. I will treat her well like my own granddaughter. She is the heir of the Meitu family. Tosaka Tokiomi nodded with satisfaction when he heard this. Meitu Zuken came to Rin Tosaka and stretched out his skinny, mummy-like hand and said, come on, come home with me. Sakura resisted the urge to cry and was about to stretch out her hand. Suddenly, a voice rang out. Stop it. Sakura, I will never leave with you. Then Tosaka Rin ran over quickly, pulled Sakura away, and protected her behind her. Sister. Meitu Zuken raised the corner of his mouth and looked at Toshiomi Tosaka. This was Toshiomi Tosaka's family affair, so it was naturally up to Toshiomi Tosaka to solve it. Toshiomi Tosaka frowned. Rin, what are you doing? How can you behave like this in front of guests? Rin has been much quieter these 3 days and has not made any noise. He thought that Rin had given up, but he didn't expect Rin to come out and make trouble at this time. Father. Sakura cannot be adopted by the Meitu family. I don't agree. This is already agreed, and it's for Sakura's good. Meitu Zoken laughed strangely. If you don't want Sakura to be adopted, you can adopt her. He knows that Xiaolin's qualifications are better than Sakura's. At this time, a voice sounded. She won't go with you. Hearing this voice, everyone looked towards the door. Then they saw a handsome boy with silver white hair and a gray sweater appear at the door of the living room. Tosaka Tokiomi frowned. Who are you? A stranger suddenly came to his home, and this kind of violation of etiquette made him feel very uncomfortable. Tosaka Rin quickly pulled Sakura to hide behind Lu Li and said, This is my master, Lu Li. Master. Rin, what are you talking about? Haven't you always been learning family magic? When did you have a master? I know, you want to find someone to act as your master, and then say that you will be inherited by the magic engraving. In this case, in order to inherit the family engraving, I have to leave Sakura behind, right? Tosaka Rin was stunned when she heard Tosaka Tokiomi's words. The clever plan she came up with after thinking hard was actually seen through by her father at a glance. No one knows a daughter better than her father. Tosaka Rin's little trick can't be hidden from Tosaka Tokiomi at all. Tosaka Tokiomi smiled at Lu Li and said, Young man, although I don't know what benefits Rin promised you, it was just a young girl's nonsense. I can give you double what benefits she promised. Lu Li shook her head. Little Rin didn't give me any benefits. In a way, I am indeed Rin's teacher. When Tusaka Rin heard Lu Li's words, she remembered that she had bought a magic from Lu Li and was indeed a student of Brother Lu Li. Brother Lu Li's student. She was very willing. After all, she had seen Brother Lu Li kill gods with her own eyes, which was much more powerful than her father. Meitu Zukan watched this scene with interest. Tusaka Tokiomi didn't expect Lu Li to say such a thing. So what do you mean, young man? Little Rin told me that she didn't want to be separated from her sister, nor did she want her sister Sakura to be adopted by someone else. In this case, we can do it according to her wishes. Lu Li seemed to be just narrating something that had already been decided. What? Tusaka Tokiomi, Meitu Zukan and Sakura were all stunned when they heard Lu Li's words. Tusaka Rin was very excited. As expected of Lu Li's brother, he was so domineering. This was Lu Li's brother. It seemed that the plan he had been thinking about before was too narrow-minded. Young man, this is my family affair. Even if you are Rin's teacher, you are a little too involved. Tusaka Tokiomi is a person who upholds elegance and respects etiquette, but he was also a little annoyed by the other party's lack of tact. Lu Li said lightly, Little Rin's business is my business. Young man, I don't know how Rin became my apprentice. She is just a child. Without my permission, her apprenticeship is not counted. I don't need other people's consent to accept students. Tusaka Tokiomi was really a little bit broken at this time. Tusaka Rin applauded, and only hid behind Lu Li obediently after being glared at by Tusaka Tokiomi. Tusaka Tokiomi resisted the urge to drive Lu Li out directly. Young man, since you said you were Rin's teacher, then you should show some strength. My Tusaka family is a famous family in the magic world after all, and Rin's talent is also top-notch. I don't want anyone to be Rin's teacher and waste Rin's talent in vain. Show your strength. Why? You are also a magician, right? I can feel that as a magician, you naturally have to show convincing magic, so as not to mislead people. Rin is very good, she is my excellent child. I can't hand her over to an ordinary person and let an ordinary person be her teacher. What ordinary people teach will eventually become ordinary people. No, I'm just thinking about how to show my strength. Lu Li said and looked around. The things in this room are very valuable. It would be bad if they were accidentally destroyed. Tusaka Tokiomi was a little surprised to hear Lu Li's words. He didn't expect Lu Li to really agree. In that case, please move to the courtyard. There is a spacious place there, enough for you to perform your magic. After that, Tusaka Tokiomi glanced at Meitu Zukan. Meitu Zukan laughed. Hee, if you don't mind, I also want to see what kind of magic this boy can use. I didn't expect to see such a good show when I came to the Tusaka family. Sakura said to Tusaka Rin with some concern, Sister, why don't you forget it? Tusaka Rin had an excited expression on her face. Don't be afraid. Sakura, as long as Brother Lu Li is here, you don't have to worry about anything. Let's go quickly. We can finally see Brother Lu Li use magic with our own eyes. I will take you to see the world. Soon, everyone came to the courtyard of the Tosaka family. As a landowner, the Tosaka family is a veritable landlord. As long as they rent their land, many businessmen will become prosperous and successful in their careers without knowing why. This kind of reputation spreads from one person to another, and all the rich people actually believe in feng shui very much. Even if the Tosaka family increases the rent again and again, these rich people are happy to do it. The Tosaka family is therefore very wealthy and is the top gomen in Fuyuki City. Young man, this place is spacious enough for you to perform your magic. Lu Li looked at the beautiful scenery around, and it was obvious that every flower, grass, and tree had been carefully trimmed by the workers. Forget it, let you do it. You use your magic to attack me. This will make it easier for you to see my strength, right? What did you say? Except for Rin Tusaka, everyone else was shocked when they heard this. Although Tosaka Tokiomi's talent is not particularly high, he works very hard. He makes up for the gap in talent with hard work, and with the magic seal of the Tosaka family, he is a very powerful magician. Young man, are you sure you know what you are talking about? Lu Li smiled and said, I know, just attack me, I also want to see how the magic passed down from generation to generation in the Tosaka family is. Lu Li's arrogant tone also made Tosaka Tokiomi a little angry. In that case, I won't be polite. This is also the fifth etiquette of magicians. Tosaka Tokiomi turned his staff, and a burning flame was born on the ruby on the staff, and then it was launched towards Lu Li. Whoosh! The blazing flames surrounded Lu Li's body. Ah! What? Swallowed the flame. How is this possible? Tosaka Tokiomi, Meitu Zukan and Sakura were all shocked by the scene before their eyes. Lu Li could actually swallow the flame. This scene would scare the magicians in the world of fairy tale where magic is prevalent. Not to mention the Holy Grail world, where magicians are very fragile. Tosaka Rin was not surprised at all. She had seen this move before. The sun fire emitted by the god of disobedience named Veleslana was eaten by brother Lu Li. When she saw Lu Li being engulfed by the flame, her heart jumped to her throat. Later, she was shocked to see Lu Li was safe and sound, and even swallowed the flame. Even the sun fire of the god of disobedience was swallowed, let alone the flame of her father. This is not to belittle her father, but the gap is really too big. Well, the taste of the flame is not bad, but it's too little, a little insufficient. Tosaka Tokiomi was speechless. Swallowing the flame, is this guy really a human? How is it? Is this enough to be Xiaolin's teacher? If you think it's not enough, how about this? Huh. A flame ignited on Lu Li's palm, forming a huge fireball with a diameter of 1 meter. Lu Li casually launched the fireball towards the rockery not far away. Boom. The rockery exploded. How about this? If you think it's not enough. Crackle crackle. Lu Li condensed golden lightning in his palm and swung it casually. The golden lightning formed a beam of light and shot towards the fountain not far away. Boom. The fountain was also smashed by lightning. If this is not enough, how about this? Lu Li's body began to grow rapidly, and in the blink of an eye, he turned into a giant with a height of more than 10 meters. Lu Li stomped his feet casually. Boom. The ground under Lu Li's feet broke, and the whole Tosaka family seemed to be shaking. This scene scared Tosaka Tokiomi and Meitu Zukan. Giant. Sakura stared in disbelief. It's so big. Brother Lu Li is so handsome. Tosaka Rin shouted excitedly. She had seen it in the chat group live broadcast, but live broadcast is live broadcast, and the shock of seeing it in real life is incomparable to live broadcast. Lu Li's body slowly shrank back to normal size, and smiled at Tosaka Tokiomi who was still shocked and said, "How is it? Is this enough? Of course, if it's not enough, I can show other magic." Show. Brother Lu Li, show the merciless sun. Tosaka Rin shouted excitedly with a face full of excitement. Lu Li rolled her eyes when she heard what Rin said. Do you want to blow up the whole city? When Rin heard this, she thought of the power of Lu Li's magic. It was a magic that killed all the gods and wiped an island off the map. If it was really displayed here, the whole city would disappear. She stuck out her tongue mischievously at Lu Li. Tashiomi also came back to his senses at this time. His strong mentality allowed him to quickly stabilize his mind. Enough. It's really an honor for my daughter to be accepted as a student by Mr. Lu Li. Tashiomi was very smart. At first, he looked down on Lu Li and thought that it was crazy for a boy who looked ordinary to want to accept his daughter as a student. You know, her daughter is a genius with 70 magic circuits. Even he himself was known as a genius in the association. But both Rin and Sakura's magic qualifications were better than his. How could he agree to a boy who suddenly appeared and said he was Rin's master? But the magic that Lu Li showed now was something he had never heard of. Whether it was the swallowing flame at the beginning, or the flame and lightning that were shown later, or the giant magic, they could almost be the secret method passed down by a magic family. And the merciless sun that Xiao Lin mentioned, if I guessed correctly, it should also be the other party's magic. The other party threatened that he could even destroy the entire Fuyuki city. He didn't believe it, but looking at Lin's reaction, it must be a more powerful magic. In that case, let's do it according to Xiao Lin's wishes. This. I know. Tosaka Tokiomi was a little entangled when he heard Lu Li's words. After all, he had already agreed to it. It was really not in line with his character to go back on his word now. But thinking of Lu Li, if the magic that Li just used was really passed on to Rin. The future of the Tusaka family is limitless, and they will have a pivotal position in the entire magic world. In the face of such huge interests, what does it matter if you go back on your word? Tusaka Tokiomi looked at Meitu Zonkan and said, Master Meitu, I'm really sorry. You saw that something unexpected happened. Sakura can't be adopted by your Meitu family. Meitu Zonkan looked unhappy. Tusaka Tokiomi, you have already agreed to it. It's not good to go back on your word now. Besides, he is only Rin's master, not Sakura's master. Can't you make a living by deciding whether Sakura stays or goes? In fact, in his opinion, adopting Sakura to the Meitu family is indeed a huge benefit. If Sakura inherits the Meitu family, then 2 of the 3 families will belong to Tusaka in the future, which will be very good for the future. Seeing her father hesitate, Sakura's eyes dimmed, and her fate still seemed unchangeable. At this time, Lu Li's voice sounded, Xiaoying, are you willing to be my student? Xiaoying looked up at Lu Li in disbelief after hearing what she said. Rin Tasaka quickly pulled Sakura. Sakura, what are you waiting for? Brother Lu Li is a super powerful magician. Sakura also reacted at this time. I am willing. Lu Li looked at Meitu Zonkan. Look, this time Sakura can't go with you. Meitu Zonkan's face darkened. Young man, your hand is too long. Lu Li glanced at Meitu Zonkan with obvious disgust in his eyes. Old man, have you lived too long and are a little tired of living? Boom. Lu Li exuded terrifying magic. The ground around Lu Li shattered, and the stones around him were unbalanced due to the magic, and slowly floated from the ground. This powerful pressure made everyone feel frightened. Tasaka Tokiomi and Meitu Zonkan stared with their eyes wide open in disbelief. This magic 11. Lu Li put away the magic. At this moment, in Lu a special mark suddenly appeared on Li's left hand. Omen, mark. Tosaka Tokiomi, Meitu Zukan, Tosaka Rin and Sakura were very surprised when they saw it. The appearance of the Omen mark means that Lu Li is the one chosen by the Holy Grail. As long as Lu Li successfully summons Serwant, this Omen mark will be transformed into a command spell. Lu Li showed a disgusted expression on his face after seeing it. Others don't know what the Holy Grail War is, but he doesn't know. He doesn't mind becoming a master, but this Omen mark appeared on the Fairy Tale Guild emblem, which makes Lu Li very unhappy. A hot flame ignited in Lu Li's hand, and the Omen mark that just appeared was burned at a speed visible to the naked eye. It was burned up in the blink of an eye. You, Mr. Lu Li, do you know what that just represented? Tusaka Tokiomi felt a little distressed when he saw that Lu Li had so easily destroyed the command seal that other magicians dreamed of. If Lu Li became a masterer, together with him and Kotomine Kirei, they would have 3 masters, and they could easily influence the outcome of the upcoming Holy Grail War. I don't know, and I don't want to know. I don't like something sticking to me without my consent. Lu Li put his hand on Sakura's shoulder and activated the perception method at the same time. Wow, a very special property, very similar to the space property. I don't know much about space magic. For now, I only know the dress-up magic, so I'll pass it on to you first. Lu Li pointed her finger at Sakura's forehead. Sakura's mind suddenly had more knowledge about dress-up magic. This is a magic book about memory magic that Lu Li found in the fairy tale library. Lu Li was very interested and learned it by the way. Lu Li is still very interested in various magics, but time is limited, and he can't spend all his energy on learning magic. And learning magic from a magic book is different from watching others comprehend magic directly, which takes a certain amount of time. The most important thing is that he already has his own way, and many magics now are not even icing on the cake for him. The best way to really become stronger is to practice. Xiao Lin, Xiao Ying, the matter is over, you practice magic well, I'll go back first, and I'll come to see you again when I have time. Lu Li glanced at Toshiomi Tusaka and Zukan Meitu, then clicked back. Swoosh. Lu Li's figure instantly disappeared in front of everyone. Toshiomi Tusaka is a smart man. The power he just showed is enough to shock Toshiomi Tusaka and Zukan Meitu for a while. If they are still not honest, Lu Li doesn't mind coming over to knock them. Lu Li's sudden disappearance surprised everyone except Rin Tusaka. They didn't notice how Lu Li left at all. Toshiomi Tusaka looked at Zukan Meitu and said, Master Meitu, you also saw that it's not that I don't want to fulfill the covenant, but Rin and Sakura's teacher doesn't allow it, so the matter of Sakura's adoption can only be abandoned. I'm really sorry. Zukin Meitu looked at Toshiomi Tusaka with a gloomy look, and Toshiomi Tusaka had a confident and calm smile on his face. In that case, let's forget about the adoption, but Shichen, going back on your word is not a good habit. Tasaka Tokiomi smiled without changing his expression and said, thank you for the reminder from the head of the Meitu family. I will keep it in mind. HMPH. Meitu Zukin walked away with a cane. After Meitu Zukin left the Tasaka family, Tasaka Tokiomi asked Tasaka Rin, Mr. Lu Li. The one who is most familiar with Lu Li here must be his eldest daughter. The master has left. Rin, who is your master? How can he use so many powerful magics, and that magic power, is it really the magic power possessed by humans? Although Tasaka Tokiomi was shocked by Lu Li's magic, what shocked him the most was Lu Li's magic power, which was, simply beyond his understanding and cognition. This, 753 I don't know, the master didn't say. If Lu Li is from the other world, my father's personality will definitely keep him up. If he often disturbs Lu Li and makes him dislike him, that would be bad. When Tasaka Tokiomi saw the erratic look in Tasaka Rin's eyes, he knew that Rin was not telling the truth and she must know something. But he couldn't force her too much. Maybe he could get the answer by gradually inducing her. A powerful magician like Lu Li is not inferior to Serwant. To have a good relationship with him is undoubtedly a huge guarantee for the Tasaka family. Yakura, what magic did Mr. Lu Li teach you? Yakura answered honestly. It is a space magic that can store items in a different space and take them out when needed. What? It was actually space magic, which is extremely rare in the magic world. The reason why he adopted Sakura instead of Rin was not because of seniority, but simply because Rin's qualifications were more suitable for the magic of the Tosaka family, and Sakura's magic attributes did not match the family magic. Rin, you should contact your teacher more in the future, and invite him to visit our home if you have the chance. We, the Zan family, must treat him well. Okay, I understand. Rin Tusaka promised that she would tell him, and whether brother Lu Li came or not was not her business. Tusaka Tokiomi turned around and returned to the house. That man could easily be chosen by the Holy Grail. As long as there was a first time, there would be a second time. As long as Rin was there, he would have a chance to see him again. Then he would sit down and have a good chat about the Holy Grail. He believed that no one could refuse the Holy Grail. Thinking of this, Tosaka Tokiomi's mouth curled up slightly, revealing a smile. Rin Tusaka took her sister Sakura Tusaka's hand and jumped happily together. Great. Sakura doesn't have to go to the Meitu family. What do you think? I told you, I will never let you be adopted. Rin Tusaka looked proud, as if the credit for Sakura staying was all hers. Well, sister, master. Sakura was very impressed with Lu Li. When she was at the lowest point in her life, it was Lu Li who saved her. Lu Li was her hero. Brother Lu Li has something to do, Sakura, you should practice magic well. As long as you practice magic well, you will have a chance to see him in the future. Yes. Sakura nodded heavily after hearing what Rin said. Master and Rin know each other. As long as she stays by her sister's side, she will have a chance to see him. Lu Li returned to the fairy tale world. After Rin's affairs were dealt with, he could also settle down and practice well for a while. When he saw the omen mark appear on the back of his hand, Lu Li was also a little bit upset. I remember that in the anime, Jin Shanshan said that the master selected by the Holy Grail is generally someone who has a strong desire to make it come true. If there is no one who wants to make it come true, no matter how good or bad the magician is, the priority will be very low. Does he have any strong wishes? Of course he does. He died young and left countless regrets. But if it is a stronger one, it may be fear of insufficient firepower, which is a terminal illness rooted in the bones of the Huxia. In the fairy tale world, he will face all kinds of powerful guys in the future. Not to mention the distant past, the existence of the black dragon Akunorlia is a sharp sword hanging over Lu Li's heart, urging him to become stronger quickly. That's why he is so persistent in becoming stronger. Tasaka Rin, brother Lu Li, thank you so much. If it weren't for you, my father would have adopted Sakura to the Meitu family. Lu Li, you're welcome. You're my sister. This little favor is nothing. Whitebeard, smelly boy, I heard that you can go to other worlds without group points now. When can you come to visit me? Whitebeard spoke at this time. Lu Li's heart moved after seeing this. To be honest, he was also very interested in the world of One Piece. As one of the most impressive anime in his childhood, One Piece has not been updated after he died. It is an anime that really made him die. Naturally, he also wants to go there to see it. Whitebeard invited him to visit several times. Before, he needed to be invited to go there, and the person who invited him consumed group points every minute and every second. Whitebeard, the old man, had no desires and transferred all his group points to others. Moreover, Lu Li was not happy with the fact that the host had to spend group points just to visit. Now he had confirmed that he could go there without group points, and it would be nice to visit the pirate world. However, he had been busy recently and had not practiced well. Although he had been using the Dragon God breathing method on weekdays and his body had been improving, he was a little confused. It was like the difference between jogging and lifting weights in the gym. Occasionally, he wanted to experience the feeling of going all out. He didn't practice well for a while, and he felt that his lack of firepower phobia was about to come back. Lu Li, wait a while. Whitebeard, wait a while. Brat, do you look down on me, an old man? Lu Li, how could that be? Dad is my idol. I just haven't practiced well for a long time, and my strength improvement speed has slowed down. No one in the chat group spoke. Look at what you say, is it human? You even killed a god, you killed such a powerful god at the age of 14. You said your strength improvement speed has slowed down. How fast do you want to be fast? Why don't you go to the sky? Well, this guy seems to be able to go to the sky easily. Whitebeard, I don't care, it's my 70th birthday in a month, you have to come here anyway. Tosaka Rin. Ah. Dad is going to have a birthday. Happy birthday to Dad. Live 100 years. Whitebeard was very happy to see Tosaka Rin say that. Although he, as a father, has many sons, these sons are all pirates who are excluded by others, all of them are rough. There is no child on his ship. After all, this is a pirate ship, and it may face dangerous situations at any time. Tosaka Rin, this little girl, is sensible, well-behaved, and has a very sweet mouth. She often chats with him, the old man, in the chat group. He asked Rin to call him daddy, and he treated Rin as his granddaughter. He liked Rin very much. Erica, happy birthday, daddy. May you be blessed as long as the East Sea and live as long as the South Mountain. Erica also offered her blessings at this time. Whitebeard daddy was also very good to her. He dragged his sick body to help her several times. If Lu Li hadn't come at that time, it would definitely be Whitebeard daddy who came to Nuo Jiao. So Erica also respected Whitebeard daddy very much. Kanae, happy birthday, daddy. Lung. Due to the environment, Kanae didn't say too many nice words, but she could feel Kanae's intentions. Whitebeard daddy always cared about Kanae's situation and kept saying that he would find a more powerful devil fruit to give her. He often told Kanae to call him when she was in danger, which made Kanae very grateful. Whitebeard. Okay. Whitebeard was very happy. Although they were only children he recognized in the chat group, it was this kind of pure relationship without any interest that made people like him more. Lu Li, Dad is going to celebrate his 70th birthday. How about this? I will bring everyone to celebrate your birthday. Whitebeard. Really? Thanks for watching, please subscribe and support our channel.